A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel that they bring unto thee pure oil olive beaten for the light, to cause the lamps to burn continually in the tabernacle of the congregation. And it shall be a statute forever in your generations.
The eternal light. The National Broadcasting Company and its affiliated independent stations present The Eternal Light, a program which comes to you under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. Today's program, A Very Special Village, was written by Will Lorin.
Waiter! Oh, waiter!
Hello. You like a table? Pick anyone you like. I'll be right with you.
No. I'd like to speak to the owner, Mr. Maggid.
Oh, you want Eli? Sure. See over there the man sitting alone? That's Mr. Maggid. Eli, somebody to see you.
Thank you. Mr. Maggid?
Yes?
My name's Coleman. I've just come down from Tel Aviv for a visit.
Oh, that's nice. You'll excuse my not getting up.
Why, surely.
Please have a chair.
Thank you.
You're an American, aren't you? Well, how do you like Israel?
Well, very much, but I'm not a tourist, Mr. Maggid. I'm a newspaperman doing a series of articles on life in Israel, and I've heard so much about this little town.
Yes. Sha'ar Menashe is a very special village.
Very special village. You know, those were the very words used by your friend in describing this place. The gentleman in the Malbin office in Tel Aviv, Mr. Cohen?
Albert Cohen, of course.
Well, I was going to come down a couple of weeks ago, but Mr. Cohen suggested I be here today, the 19th. A special occasion, he said.
Occasion?
Yes, isn't today the first anniversary of this cafe?
Oh, imagine with all Albert has to do, he remembered that. Yes, I mean, the cafe is a year old today, but that's not, how do you say, newsworthy. The real story here is the village and the people in it. There's no place like Sha'ar Menashe in the whole world.
So I gather. Well, let's start at the beginning.
The beginning? Mm-hmm. Well, this town used to be a British Air Force base, and when the Joint Distribution Committee saw the possibilities here, the building's already standing and all...
Excuse me, Mr. Maggid, how do you come to be here? I couldn't help but notice a slight difference between you and the...
Between me and everyone else in the village.
Yes. Let's start at your beginning.
Well, that would be a little over a year ago in Tel Aviv. It seemed more like an ending at that time. You see, I had been in a hospital there for more than 2 years. And one day, Albert Cohen came to see
me. Eli?
Hello, Mr. Cohen.
How are you feeling?
Oh, fine.
The doctor says you can be discharged this week. That's wonderful news.
Wonderful.
Oh, come on now, Eli. Brighten up a little. You never know what's ahead for you.
Mr. Cohen, don't think I'm ungrateful. I know if it hadn't been for Malben, I couldn't have come to Israel, and I couldn't have gotten the treatment I needed, the operations. But...
Yes?
What can I look forward to? Learning a new trade at my age? After all, I'm 45. There's only one thing I know. I mean, only one thing I'd really be any good at.
You mean managing a cafe?
Yes. And don't worry, I have no illusions about going back to that. After all, in my present condition, well, that's out of the question.
But that is what you'd most like to do.
Mr. Cohen, it's nice of you to be sympathetic, but you don't have to humor me.
Eli, tell me about the cafe you used to have in Warsaw.
It was beautiful.
Was it your own?
Yes. I was the owner and manager. It was one of the finest in Warsaw. Really, it was. Some people said one of the best in Europe. The food was famous, and the music made
Music?
Yes. We had a string orchestra. They played Viennese waltzes, things like that. And the atmosphere was, friendly. It was a sort of meeting place, like in Paris. Very continental,
Eli...
Oh, well, that's that.
Suppose it were possible for you to have a cafe again here in Israel.
Me? You mean someone wants a manager for a cafe?
Oh, more than that. In this particular village I have in mind, they want someone who could open his own cafe, own it, and run it.
I don't understand. You know my situation better than anyone else. You know I have no money, and you know my physical condition.
Well, about the money, the Joint Distribution Committee has a special fund for rehabilitation. We call it the Constructive Loan Project. People with disabilities like yours can make long-term loans and open up a workshop or a store or whatever they know best. So why not a cafe?
I don't know what to think. You mean it's really possible?
Of course it's possible. That is, depending on...
Me? If I'm up to it?
Why, I know you're up to it. In this case, it depends on if you really want to undertake it.
The answer is yes.
Well, now, Eli, wait a minute.
Yes!
But you don't understand. These are not normal conditions. You might not be happy in Shah Al-Manash.
Where?
It's a small town about an hour from here.
How small?
1,400 people.
Oh, that's big enough. How many other cafes are there in the village?
None.
And you think I might not be happy there? With no competition?
Eli, the people in Shah Al-Manash want a cafe very much. It's the one thing they lack, and it would make them very happy. But it would take more than just a competent cafe manager to go there. It needs a man with patience and understanding, someone sensitive to other people's difficulties. I think you're just the man for the job. And yet...
Yes?
Well, you've had a hard life yourself. We're concerned about the villagers, of course, but we're concerned about you, too. After all, you're still a young man, and, well, you might not feel at home there.
Mr. Cohen, what is so special about Shah Al-Manash?
We call it the Village of the Aged. Yes. Every one of the 1,400 people there is over 65 years of age.
Well, Mr. Coleman, the whole thing was incomprehensible to me. I'd heard of old age homes, but an old age town? I didn't know what to think. All I knew was I wanted to get back to work. But Mr. Cohen wouldn't let me say yes, sight unseen, so to speak. He insisted that I come here for a few days, look around, see how I liked it, and then I was to let him know. Well, there was a lot I wanted to know about Shah Al-Manash, so I looked for a talkative man. And I knew just where to look.
Once over lightly, you said?
That's right.
No haircut?
No, just a shave, please.
All right. You don't trust me. I could give you a good haircut.
I trust you, but all I want is a shave.
Too bad. It's a golden opportunity.
It is?
Not for you, for me. Most of my customers don't have any hair left. I'm getting out of practice. Lean back, please.
How many barbers do you have here?
2. We have 2 of everything in this town. 2 grocers, 2 doctors, 2 butchers. That way nobody has to work more than a few hours. At a time, I mean. That's on the theory that we tire easily at our age.
Well, don't you?
Maybe now that you mention it, yes.
Wouldn't it be better if... I mean, it's none of my business, of course, but maybe you'd like to retire.
Not work at all? And get old before my time? Don't you know work keeps a man young? Especially the work he knows best.
That's true.
Here in Shah Al-Manash, everybody works at what he knows. Hold still, please. Me, I have been a barber 45 years.
And still going strong. Wonderful. With me, some days I get up in the morning...
hold still, please.
And my hand shakes so I wouldn't dare shave myself.
Your hand shakes at your age. Now, why should your hands shake at your age? At my age, it's understandable. I am 72. So, naturally, my hand shakes a little. My eyes are not what they were. Hold still, please. You're a nervous fellow, aren't you?
Well, not exactly.
Look, mister, my hand shakes, except when I am holding a razor. Just relax. You don't trust me?
I trust you.
And was it a good shave?
Oh, it was excellent. I've been a regular customer ever since. And you know, he was right. Everywhere I looked, it was the same thing. People who anywhere else would be retired, whether they wanted to be or not, were practicing their former profession. At least part of the time, as much as their strength permitted.
And doing well at it, I'll bet.
Oh, I should say so. You see, the assumption here is that when people get old, that's no reason to institutionalize them, to take them out of the community. On the contrary, that's just when people should be permitted to feel they're part of the community.
To feel useful.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Well, tell me, do the villagers do everything for themselves?
Almost everything. The only institutional part of life here is the communal dining rooms and kitchens. After all, many of the people are over 80 and not able to cook for themselves. But from every other viewpoint, why, they run their own stores, workshops, library, the post office.
Eli,
Yes?
can you see the board from where you're sitting?
Yes?
I'm in trouble.
I've been watching your game out of the corner of my eye. Move the Queen's knight.
But where? Oh, you mean this way.
That's right. Now he's in trouble.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
As a businessman, is it wise to play favorites among your customers?
Oh, I don't play favorites. In a little while, the other fellow will give me a call. Now, where was I?
Oh, you were saying how the villagers here do things for themselves.
Oh, yes.
Well, tell me, what decided you in favor of moving here?
Nothing specific, really. Something about the attitude toward life that I saw here. A kind of cheerful normalcy, you might say.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the second day I was here, just out of curiosity, I wandered over to the dental clinic. I looked in here and peeked in there. Nobody seemed to mind.
All right, Jacob, you can sit down again. Open wide, please. Feel anything?
No.
Good, then the Novocaine is working already.
You're going to pull it now?
That's right.
But maybe that's not necessary.
Oh, it's necessary. Believe me, Jacob, it won't hurt a bit.
But I hate to lose it.
Now, why should this tooth be an exception?
That's just it. It's the last one I have that's really my own, and I've become attached to it.
Oh, nonsense. You'll feel better without it. Now, open, please.
Dr. Liebman.
Call me Theodore.
Theodore, can't we talk this over?
Open, please. I'm just going to probe a little. Now, what were you saying?
Well, before you probe anymore, if the tooth really has to come out, maybe I should go to Haifa and have it done.
Why?
Well, the last time I had a tooth pulled, 20 years ago maybe, I remember it well. It took a lot of strength to pull it. Strong roots, you know. No offense, doctor. But maybe a younger man should do it.
Perhaps you're right. Open a moment. All right. You're done.
You mean I should go to Haifa?
I've just saved you the bus fare. Here's your tooth.
My tooth? But how is that possible? I didn't feel a thing.
Well, thanks for the compliment.
But the last time the roots were so strong.
How long ago?
Oh, I see what you mean. May I keep the tooth as a memento?
If you like. But, you know something? This tooth, it isn't really a symbol of your lost youth. It's just a tooth. You're as young as you feel, Jacob. And you're going to feel fine now.
Oh, I feel very young, Doctor. In fact,
yes?
Inside of my mouth, I feel just like a newborn baby.
A couple of days later, I'd made up my mind, and I made a long-distance phone call.
Hello?
Mr. Cohen, this is Eli Maggid.
Oh, how are you, Eli? Where are you calling from?
From Shah Menashe.
Oh, well, what do you think? Remember, you're under no obligation. If you don't want to stay there, it's all right. I understand. We can find you something else.
Mr. Cohen, I'd like to stay here.
You're sure now?
Positive. I don't know how much good I'll be to the villagers here, but I'll tell you something.
Yes?
They've done me a world of good already. You know what they say when they see me in the street?
What?
Hello, Sonny. Isn't that nice? And so, here I am among the young in heart.
And doing a wonderful job, evidently. The cafe's lovely. This pastry is delicious.
Well, have another piece.
Thank you. All in all, the atmosphere is very, very pleasant.
If I had a little music here, it would be almost continental.
It seems quite continental already. I've heard 5 languages spoken since I came in.
Oh, that's true. We have people here from all over the world. It sometimes makes life a little complicated.
Oh, like how?
Well, last week, for instance, Dr. Herschel, our rabbi, was here having a glass of tea with me. He seemed a little abstracted. And from time to time, he would take a little book out of his pocket, glance at it, and then get lost in thought. Rabbi? Your tea is getting cold.
Oh, that's all right. Thank you, Eli.
You know, it's remarkable how you study all the time.
Study?
Yes, that book you keep looking at.
Oh, forgive me, Eli. I know I shouldn't read sitting here at the table with you.
Oh, don't give it a thought. You know, I remember my father telling me, years ago, that to be a rabbi means to be a perennial student. All your life, he said. The Talmud, the Bible. And I must say, you're a living example. Always reading, always studying. I beg your pardon, did I say something amusing?
In a way. If you only knew what it is I'm studying.
Not the Bible?
Not tonight. You know, Eli, one reason I was given the post here was because I spoke 4 languages, and not too badly.
4 languages.
Mm-hmm.
That reminds me. Excuse me a moment. Max!
You want me?
Yes. In my office on the desk is a book the committee brought in last night. It's for Dr. Herschel. Will you bring it here, please?
Surely.
Oh, and Max, bring the aspirin, too, will you?
Yeah.
You have a headache, Eli?
Who, me? No, not at all.
But the aspirin.
Yeah. You were saying, Dr. Herschel, about being a linguist. And that book you're studying.
Oh, yes. Well, now, actually, my languages have been very useful here. Hebrew, well, that's for Friday nights, of course. Polish for Monday nights. German, Tuesdays. Czech, Sunday nights. Although I don't speak that too well. But some time ago, a committee came to see me.
A committee, of course. Excuse me, what did they want?
Well, it seems that they represented some 150-odd Hungarians who said they felt left out of things.
May I see that book, Rabbi? Basic Hungarian Grammar. Oh, dear.
Once upon a time, Eli, languages came easily to me. But now I'm not as young as I used to be. And really, for me to learn irregular verbs now in Hungarian at my age, what can I do?
Here you are, Eli. Dr. Herschel's book, and, if you please, the aspirin.
Thank you, Max.
My book?
Dr. Herschel, I don't quite know how to tell you this, but...
Tell me what?
Well, last night a committee came to see me to give you a message. They felt, shy about approaching you directly.
Another committee?
Yes. On behalf of the 81 Yemenites in the village.
Eli, what is the book?
It's called Arabic Made Easy. 1 or 2 aspirins, Rabbi.
Oh, poor man. He has his problems.
And pleasures, too. The fact is, Dr. Herschel says he wouldn't live anywhere else in the world now. He enjoys performing the marriage ceremonies here.
Marriages here? In the village of the aged?
Oh, you'd be amazed. That's one of the nice things about Shah Menashe. People come here old and tired. Many of them alone, widowed, without roots. Once they get here, life suddenly becomes pleasanter. There's a solidity here that many of them have never had. And companionship.
Yes, but a romance.
Oh, it's never too late for romance. You see that couple over there?
Huh? Oh, the last table?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's Mr. and Mrs. Heller. He has 14 grandchildren, and she has 9.
Not the same number?
No, they've only been married 2 months. To each other, that is.
Wonderful.
Yes, I look forward to these marriages. They usually come here to celebrate.
Look, I think the other chess player is trying to get your attention.
Yeah, what did I tell you? The pawn. Move the pawn.
Which one?
You only have 2 left, and the other one's blocked.
Ah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Your customers have come to depend on you.
Oh, well, I'm not deluding myself. It's the cafe, really. It's a form of therapy for them. A place to relax, have a glass of tea, a game of chess. Form committees.
What for?
For everything you can think of. Once, somebody wanted me to put apple strudel on the menu. So he couldn't come and ask me himself. No, a committee was formed.
Like the UN, huh?
I tell you, Mr. Coleman, the world would be a very nice place if there was as much good feeling in the UN as there is here in Shah Manasha. These are very sweet people, you know.
Okay.
That's why I say I'm not deluding myself.
About what?
About why they really come here to the cafe. They go out of their way to spend their few pennies of pocket money here because it's their way of being kind to me. I think perhaps they pretend to enjoy it here more than they really do because of my disability. You understand?
Well, I suspect you underestimate yourself, Mr. Magid.
Oh, I don't think so. Nor do I overestimate my villagers. They're really very special.
Mm-hmm. Tell me, what exactly is the nature of your infirmity?
Oh, no need to be delicate about it, Mr. Coleman. You noticed I haven't gotten up from this table all evening.
Yes?
It's because I couldn't if I wanted to. You see, I'm paralyzed from the waist down. Well, Mr. Coleman, you must be sure and walk around the village tomorrow and meet some of our young folk.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. Also, I see that it's a couple of minutes after 9 o'clock.
So? Not past your bedtime, I'm sure.
No, but isn't 9 o'clock the time for...
For what?
Oh, I almost let the cat out of the bag.
What's cat? And for that matter, out of what bag?
Right on schedule, thank heaven.
Eli,
Yes, Max.
there is a committee here to see you.
Again? Since when do they have to be announced? All right, ask them to come over.
Right away.
What did I tell you, Mr. Coleman? They formed another committee. It's really very charming. Hello. Well. Who's the chairman tonight? You, Abram?
But, Abram, you're the chairman.
I'm waiting for it to be quiet. We agreed that this time it would be quiet.
All right. Quiet, everybody.
Quiet? What's going on?
All right, Abram, go on.
Eli, this is a very special occasion, and unaccustomed as I am to speaking in public...
Now, Abram?
Not yet. As I say, unaccustomed as I am...
Get to the point, Abram.
Yes. Well, the point is, it's just a year ago today that you came here to Shah Manasha and opened your cafe. We wanted to find some way to... we got you a little gift. The thing is, we didn't know what to get you because... You tell him, Bertha.
Because we couldn't possibly get you anything that could repay you for the pleasure you've brought us. Not just the cafe, Eli. So much as, you being here. And because we love you.
Now?
Yes, Max. Now.
What's this?
A phonograph, Eli. And what do you call that, Abram?
A loudspeaker.
Yes, and a lot of records. I know it is not like it used to be in your cafe in the old days.
Oh,
but
it's beautiful, Beth.
It's continental, Eli.
Very. It's very continental. Thank you all.
Bertha, would you like to dance?
I think that would be very nice, Abram.
You see, Mr. Coleman? As I say, it's a very special village.
If you would like a copy of today's script, please send your name and address with 10 cents to cover the cost of postage to the Jewish Theological Seminary of America, 3080 Broadway, New York 27, New York. And now we take great pleasure in presenting Dr. Judah J. Shapiro, Director of the Department of Cultural and Educational Reconstruction of the Conference on Jewish Material Claims Against Germany. Dr. Shapiro.
I was in Israel in 1949 when the American Jewish Joint Distribution Committee, with the support of the United Jewish Appeal, inaugurated the Malben program about which you heard today. I was there again in 1951 and accompanied the staff in its survey of the present site of Kfar Menashe. I also participated in the opening ceremonies of this very special village in 1953, and so I am glad to add my testimony to the message of today's presentation of the eternal light. It seems to me that the story of the Jewish people in the past 2 decades is woven with the threads of calamity and indomitable spirit. The drama of this era is not only the distress and affliction visited upon the Jews, but their continuous and successful quest of normalcy. The richness of today's story lies in its revelation of normal people seeking normal lives against great odds after much deprivation in the face of seeming hopelessness. For 10 years now, following the end of the war, the touchstone of Jewish life has been reconstruction. In the words of the prophet Joel, to restore the years that the locust hath eaten. Malben are the initial letters in Hebrew standing for Institution for the Care of Handicapped Immigrants. Its program includes care of TB patients, invalids, the chronically ill, retarded children, and the aged. Kfar Menashe is only one of many special programs. The tasks of reconstruction are not limited to creating new things to replace the old. In a large measure, it means the prolongation and the effective functioning of the old, particularly human beings. One of the great social contributions of our time is the work of continuing the active and productive life of the aged. We know scientifically that life is longer for those who are productively occupied. A society is healthier when its respect for the aged takes the form of offering them opportunities for continued usefulness. That is true here, and it is also true in Israel, as represented in this very special village.
Thank you, Dr. Shapiro. Our Eternal Light drama today, A Very Special Village, was written by Will Lorin. The music was written by Morris Momorsky and conducted by Roy Shield. Cantor David Putterman sang the liturgical introduction. Featured in the cast were Alexander Scourby, Theo Getz, Leon Janney, Roger DeKoven, Ed Jerome, Mercer McLeod, Louis Soren, Guy Rett, Santos Ortega, and Nina Hansen. This is Mel Brandt. This has been an NBC Radio Network production directed by Daniel Sutter. This weekly program is presented under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. This is the NBC Radio Network.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel, that they bring unto thee pure oil olive, beaten for the light, to cause the lamps to burn continually in the tabernacle of the congregation, and it shall be a statute forever in your generation.
the eternal light. The National Broadcasting Company and its affiliated independent stations present The Eternal Light, a program which comes to you under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. Today's program comes to you from Chicago, Illinois. It is entitled Mr. Flanagan, the Chaplain, and Mr. Lincoln, and is presented in celebration of Lincoln's birthday. The script was written by Mark Siegel.
He was Father Abraham to many, and Mr. President to some. He was Honest Abe and the Great Emancipator. He was the Commander-in-Chief and the common man transfigured, and just old Abe Lincoln. But of all the 1,000 roles he played, his greatest was as interpreter of the democratic faith, and his words probed deeply to the heart and meaning of that faith.
What constitutes the bulwark of our liberty and independence? Our reliance is in love of liberty, which God has planted in our bosoms. Our defense is in the preservation of the spirit which prizes liberty as the heritage of all men, in all lands, everywhere.
He could say it so that the words rang with beauty and authority. And he could say it so simply that no man could fail to understand.
In relation to the principle that all men are created equal, let it be as nearly reached as we can.
This is a story of the time of Abraham Lincoln, the story of a battle fought during the Civil War. It was a bloodless battle, fought without the roar of muzzle-loading cannon or the strains of martial trumpets. Yet, it was a battle as important for Americans as any major encounter in the war between the states. For this battle, like the larger struggle, was waged to maintain the democratic faith and its greatest principle, equality among men. The story begins in an army camp in the summer of 1861, a camp in northern Virginia, where volunteers of the 65th Regiment of the 5th Pennsylvania Cavalry drilled in preparation for action still to come.
All right, flank! Fire! Left flank! Fire! Cavalry! Halt! Cavalry! Dismiss!
Corporal Miller! Oh, no, Flanagan, not again. I told you already. Now they're not to be put off again, Corporal. With my wife Katie lying there sick and not a soul within the sound of her voice. Flanagan, you're wasting your breath. I don't have the authority. It's not your authority I'm asking. It's permission to see the Colonel. No, it's not an obstreperous
For the
man I am,
fourth time, Flanagan, I'll tell you the orders. The regiment's on call.
And there'll be no furloughs. I know. I've heard the words. But this is an emergency, man. It's not a picnic I'm asking to be going on.
Flanagan, I take my orders.
And the Colonel won't see me?
He'll see no one who wants to ask for a furlough.
Ah, then you leave me no alternative, Corporal. No alternative at all. It breaks my heart. Never in my life would I thought I'd be doing this to Abraham Lincoln.
Doing what, Flanagan? What in hob are you muttering about?
Deserting, man. That's what's in my mind.
Flanagan, do you know what you're saying?
By nightfall, I'll be a filthy deserter.
You'd take the chance?
Miller, you're a young one, and it's not for you to understand. The letter says Katie's sick, mortally sick. And if the good Colonel won't see me...
Wait, Flanagan. I've got an idea.
An idea?
If the Colonel knew the circumstances...
You'll tell him?
Well, no, I can't tell him, Flanagan.
I might have known.
But we've got a chaplain now. He's just been appointed.
The chaplain? The new chaplain? Oh, now it's thick-headed you are, Patrick Flanagan, for not thinking of the new chaplain.
there's no doubt in my mind it can be arranged, Private Flanagan.
And how am I to thank you, Chaplain? How the stone you've lifted off my heart.
It's my job to help. But I'm counting on you to keep your word.
To be back once I've seen Katie? I'll fly like the wind.
I'll see about the pass now, Flanagan. But, one word of advice.
Whatever you say, Chaplain.
Go directly to your home, spend the full time there, then come directly back.
There's just one other errand I'd be doing, Chaplain.
One other errand?
When I reach Philadelphia, I'll just be running over to the church.
Good, Flanagan.
And I'll be lighting a candle for you, for the good man you are.
Thanks, but it's hardly necessary.
And I'll be telling our priest what a fine Irish chaplain we have in the Cameron's Dragoons.
That wouldn't be quite correct, Flanagan.
Not correct, Chaplain?
I'm not Irish.
Oh, with the name of Michael Allen? Not Irish?
No, not Irish.
Ah, then, you're a minister, not a priest.
No, Flanagan, I'm neither.
Neither? But
I'm of the Jewish faith, like most of the volunteers in this regiment.
So it's Jewish you are. Well, no matter. It's the heart of an Irishman you have.
For the first 3 months after he became regimental chaplain, Michael Allen of Philadelphia was assured on several occasions that he had the heart of many national orators. He accepted the confidence with which he was received by all 1,200 men of Cameron's Dragoons as a sign of fundamental brotherhood, and undertook his duties conscientiously. Although he had never been ordained as a rabbi, he ministered to the spiritual and welfare needs of the men with sensitivity and concern, and looked forward to service with the regiment until the war's end. Then, on a day in September 1861, he was summoned to the office of the regimental commander, Colonel Max Friedman.
Chaplain Allen, reporting to Colonel Friedman as directed, sir.
At ease, Chaplain. Pull the chair up, Michael. We can dispense with the formalities today.
All right, Max. Max, you seem troubled.
I am troubled, Michael. It's this dispatch. It arrived this morning.
Orders to move?
No, Michael, the dispatch concerns you.
Me? I don't understand.
Listen. From the Assistant Adjutant General of the Army. Any person mustered into service as chaplain, that applies to you, of course.
Of course.
Any person mustered into service as chaplain who is not a regularly ordained clergyman of a Christian denomination will be at once discharged without pay or allowance.
What?
That's what it says, Michael. Look for yourself.
That disqualifies me on 2 counts, Max. I'm neither Christian nor regularly ordained.
That doesn't mean you're ineffective in your work, Michael.
Thank you, Max. The order doesn't give you any alternative, does it?
None at all. It's a poor reward for your devotion.
I'm not concerned about myself, Max.
If you're concerned about the effect on the men, you're right, Michael. They need you here. They've come to depend on you.
That does concern me. But it's more than that. Much more. I don't understand this order. It's a violation of the Constitution's guarantee of religious liberty.
A clear violation, but nonetheless an order.
But by what authority does the Adjutant General write it?
I've gone into that too, Michael. The Congress passed a law in June.
A law which prevents a regiment with more than half of its men of the Jewish faith from having a Jewish chaplain? I don't believe it.
That's the law, Michael. We didn't know about it, of course, when we elected you, but fair or unfair, that's the law. The question is, what do we do about it?
Chaplain Michael Allen turned the question over in his mind. One point was immediately clear.
What happens to me is unimportant. There's a principle at stake. The principle of equality.
A second point was clear to the chaplain, too.
This law must be removed from the statute books.
But how to go about it remained unclear. As for his own immediate future, he was aware that he had no choice.
Chaplain Allen! In here, Flanagan. Oh, now, and it's there you are. I've been looking for you from one end of the camp to the other.
Well, Flanagan, how's Katie?
That's what I came to be telling you, Chaplain. She's fine.
That makes me very happy.
What is it you think you're doing there, Chaplain?
Just packing a crate.
Now, I'm not a critical man, Chaplain, but if you lend me that hammer...
You're right, Flanagan. I'm not much of a carpenter. Here it is.
Now, I hope you'll take no offense, Chaplain, but I think we'll start over on this board.
No offense, Flanagan.
There. Now the nails, Chaplain. I gave up a good job to come into the army. I used to support Katie and myself doing just this. That's a firm, sound crate now. You could send that one from here to Killarney without a fear.
Yes, it's a good job you've done. Thanks.
You're welcome. And any time you need a crate done up...
Thanks, Flanagan. Thanks again. But I won't be needing any more crates put together, I'm afraid.
How's that, Chaplain? No more crates?
No, all of my gear is in that crate. I'm leaving.
But you will be back.
No, I'm resigning. Or, rather, I'm being forced to resign.
Forced to resign? Who's forcing you to resign? Just let me know the name of the blackguard and Patrick Flanagan.
No, Flanagan. It's an order.
An order that says the best chaplain a regiment ever had must leave? I'm not a clever man, Chaplain, but there's little sense in what you're saying.
It's a complicated business, Flanagan.
Complicated, is it? Senseless, that's what it is.
Perhaps you're right. But what it comes to is that I can't continue as chaplain.
Because you're not a clergyman?
Because I'm not a clergyman. And because I'm a Jew.
Are you standing there, Chaplain, and telling me that even if you were a clergyman, they wouldn't let you comfort the men because you're a Jew?
That's right.
Well, by all that's holy, that's unfair.
Yes, it is.
Well, perhaps now then, that being the case, perhaps all the Jewish soldiers in the regiment should turn in their muskets because they're Jewish.
No, that's not quite the answer, Flanagan.
Maybe it's not the answer, Chaplain. But there's not a man in the regiment who would be down in the mouth to learn you're leaving.
They'll get over it.
Maybe they will, and maybe they won't. But there'll be a question tickling the mind of every one of them.
A question? What question?
They'll all be asking themselves, if we're fighting this war because all men are created equal, how is it all chaplains aren't created equal?
Flanagan, you have rare insight. And I'll tell you, man to man, I've been asking myself that very question over and over since yesterday. Flanagan, you've said goodbye 4 times in the last hour. What brings you back again?
I'm a bulldog of a man, Chaplain. And there's something I still want to know.
If I can answer it, I will.
Then who is it with the nerve to say you can't be the regimental chaplain?
The War Department, Flanagan. The Secretary of War.
Mr. Cameron? The very one in whose honor this regiment was formed?
Yes, now that you mention it, the very one.
Well then, I've made up my mind.
You have?
That I have. I'd not pack and go, Michael Allen.
You wouldn't?
That I would not. I'd go to that very Mr. Cameron's office in Washington, D.C., I would. And I'd stomp and holler till he heard me. That's what I'd be doing.
Oh, Flanagan, I can't go to Secretary Cameron's office and stomp and holler.
Why not?
The circumstances don't allow it. But you've given me an idea. So I thank you, Flanagan.
Oh, now, sure, and it's nothing at all, Chaplain. Nothing at all.
Michael Allen consulted with his colonel and the other officers of Cameron's Dragoons before he left the regiment, and a decision was reached. A decision based in part on the simple advice of one Patrick Flanagan. A few weeks later, a small committee was ushered into the office of the Secretary of War, Mr. Simon Cameron.
Mr. Secretary, may I introduce myself? I'm Colonel Max Friedman, commanding officer of the regiment named in your honor.
Delighted to meet you, Colonel.
And this is Rabbi Arnold Fischel of New York.
How do you do, Rabbi? Won't you please be seated?
Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Thank you.
What can I do for you, Colonel?
Sir, the officers of the regiment have designated Rabbi Fischel as regimental chaplain to succeed Mr. Michael Allen, who has recently resigned as our chaplain.
I see.
We've come here today to ask your approval of Rabbi Fischel's appointment.
I understand, Colonel.
Then we may count on your approval of our application?
Colonel Friedman, I find this a painful position.
Not more painful, sir,
and the men in my command who are denied equality of religious practice.
But I ask you, and you, Rabbi Fischel, to understand my position. I share your indignation with the law passed by Congress.
We're happy to know that, Mr. Secretary.
But I did not dictate the law, and I have no choice but to obey it.
There is a question of interpretation, Mr. Secretary. It would be possible for you to right a great wrong by interpreting the law to include regularly ordained clergymen of any faith.
Rabbi Fischel, I must execute the law as it's written.
Then you will not approve Rabbi Fischel as Chaplain of the Cameron's Dragoons, sir?
It's not that I will not, Colonel. It's that I cannot.
Mr. Secretary, it is not only Jewish soldiers who suffer by this arbitrary act of Congress. While this law remains on the statute books, the right of any American to the free practice of his religion is threatened. Can any man be free when his brother is not free?
No, the war itself is an answer to that question, is it not?
It is, sir. And because we recognize that this question is a question of equality for all Americans, we will fight this law, Secretary Cameron, as vigorously as we know how.
Rabbi, Colonel, I share your view in the matter. If I can help, I hope you'll call on me. I pray your efforts will be blessed with success. That is all I can say.
There was no longer a question of the interpretation of the law. The right of Jewish chaplaincy had been denied. By the same token, the right of religious ministrations for all minority groups had been denied. Colonel Friedman and his officers estimated the situation as if it were a military problem and sought the tactical solutions to that problem.
Then we are agreed. Our first step will be to let the country know of this threat to religious liberty. We shall begin by writing letters to Jewish periodicals throughout the country advising them of the facts of the situation.
The letter-writing campaign was begun. First, the Jewish periodicals picked up the cause. Soon the great metropolitan dailies were editorializing for revision of the volunteer bill which restricted the right of chaplaincy.
Gentlemen, I have received a letter from Rabbi Isaac Mayer Wise suggesting that a petition campaign be undertaken throughout the country to right the wrongs inherent.
Petitions for a change in the law flooded Washington, but in the pressure of wartime business, the Congress still took no action. Then one day in December, Rabbi Fischel arrived to see Colonel Friedman. Guarding the colonel's tent was one Private Patrick Flanagan.
Is the colonel in, Private?
That he is, sir. It's Rabbi Fischel you are, is it not, sir?
Yes, I'm Rabbi Fischel.
Rabbi Fischel, would you be forgiven my impertinence if I asked you a question?
Go right ahead.
Well then, sir, have you had any word of that good lad that was our chaplain, that fine lad, Michael Allen?
Why, yes, he's in Philadelphia.
Is he just sitting there in my own city, suffering under the blight of this law that won't let him serve his country?
Why, no, he's fighting with a lot of other people to help get a new law passed.
Well, now, I'm tickled to hear that. And are you among them?
Yes, I am.
Then may I give you a private's advice, Rabbi?
Go right ahead, Private.
Well, it's in my mind, Rabbi, that old Abe Lincoln would never be standing for these shenanigans.
That's in my mind, too.
And if I had the time, which I don't, I'd be telling the president about the injustice of it all. That's the thing I'd be doing.
What did you say your name was?
I didn't, sir. But it's Flanagan. Patrick Flanagan.
Well, Patrick Flanagan, the same thing's in my mind, too. And it's just that I've come to tell your colonel.
Rabbi Fischel had been asked by the Board of American Israelites to go to Washington as a representative of the American Jewish community. Like Patrick Flanagan, the rabbi was certain that Mr. Lincoln would stand for a reaffirmation of equal rights if an audience could be secured. On the fourth attempt, Rabbi Fischel was granted the interview he had so urgently sought.
Pull up a chair, Dr. Fischel. Thank you, Mr. President.
Oh, a little closer to the hearth, Dr. Fischel. This office is colder than an Indiana barn in January, and the fire isn't much.
The warmth of your hospitality more than makes up for it, Mr. President.
Well, it's kind of you to say so, Dr. Fischel. Now, this matter that brings you here.
Yes, Mr. President.
I'm grateful to you for calling it to my notice. I've read the documents you left with Mr. Hay.
I hope you've reached a conclusion favorable to our petition, Mr. Lincoln.
Dr. Fischel, I could not reach any other conclusion. I believe a wrong has been done, both to the constitutional rights of your co-religionists and the welfare of the Jewish volunteers.
Mr. President, I want you to know that I am here not only to urge that wrong be righted, but because this law violates the principle of religious liberty for Americans of all faiths, not only my own.
Dr. Fischel, that is where our strength lies. That each group of Americans must defend its own rights, knowing that in doing so, it defends the rights of all other Americans. I believe the exclusion of Jewish chaplains to have been altogether unintentional on the part of Congress.
I agree, sir.
But you and your co-religionists have rightly seen the implications. Something must be done to meet this case. I give you my promise that it will be done.
In December of 1861, Abraham Lincoln addressed a request to the Committee on Military Affairs of the House of Representatives for a revision of the Volunteer Bill, which included the regulations on military chaplaincy. 6 months later, in the Congress of the United States,
Gentlemen, the bill before the House to amend the chaplaincy law to allow Protestant ministers, Catholic priests, and Jewish rabbis to serve as chaplains in the armed forces of the United States has been carried.
a battle won. A battle in the never-ending struggle to reaffirm and strengthen the principle of equality among men. A battle to be remembered on Lincoln's birthday, along with Gettysburg and Shiloh, Antietam and Appomattox. A battle which goes forward today, as it did in the time of Mr. Flanagan, the chaplain, and Mr. Lincoln, with the inspiration of old Abe's simple testament.
In relation to the principle that all men are created equal, let it be as nearly reached as we can.
If you would like a copy of today's script, please send your name and address with 10 cents to cover the cost of postage and handling to the Jewish Theological Seminary of America, 3080 Broadway, New York 27, New York. And now we take great pleasure in presenting the Honorable Henry L. Berman, Justice of the Superior Court of Cook County, Illinois, and Honorary Chairman of the Board of the Chicago Israel Volunteer Group. Mr. Berman.
The battle won in the House of Representatives that day in 1862 was not won with guns, cannon, or powder. Yet in the history of our nation, it was more important than the guns at Gettysburg or Shiloh. It was another kind of battle in the never-ending struggle to reaffirm and strengthen the principle that all men are created equal. For of what value is freedom and equality of men, as written in our Constitution and won on our fighting fronts, if it is not preserved in every law of our nation? The core of our freedom abides in our laws. The strength of these laws lies in their interpretation and just administration. We have all often heard the sentence from the historic American faith which Congress made official on July 4, 1776, that man is not made for the state, but the state for man, and it observes its just powers only from the consent of the governed. Abraham Lincoln readily realized that the exclusion of rabbis from the chaplaincy of our armed forces was unintentional on the part of Congress. Yet, however unintentional it may have been, it deprived a group of its constitutional rights and violated the principle of religious liberty for Americans of all faiths. In defending their own rights, therefore, the group defended the rights of all other Americans. Today, as in 1862, as always, we must defend our individual rights and preserve our freedom through the guarding of our laws, that every law be sound, just, and in accordance with our constitutional rights. In February, as we honor the birthday of Abraham Lincoln, it is well for us to remember our individual responsibility to those laws and the men who interpret and administer them, to the end that government of the people, by the people and for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
Thank you, Judge Berman. Our Eternal Light drama today, Mr. Flanagan, the Chaplain, and Mr. Lincoln, was written by Mark Siegel and comes to you from Chicago, Illinois. Cantor David Putterman sang the liturgical introduction. The music was written by Morris Momorsky and conducted by Bernard Berquist. Presented in the cast were Maurice Copeland, Jack Lester, Marshall Kent, Harry Elders, Norman Gottschalk, Everett Clark, James Andelin, and Ned Locke. This has been an NBC Radio Network production directed by Howard Keegan. Dr. Ben Zion Boxer, Rabbi of the Forest Hills Jewish Center, is program editor. This weekly program is presented under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. This is Monitor, the NBC Weekend Radio Service.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel that they bring unto thee pure oil olive beaten for the light, to cause the lamps to burn continually in the tabernacle of the congregation. And it shall be a statute forever in your generations.
The Eternal Light. The National Broadcasting Company and its affiliated independent stations present The Eternal Light, a program which comes to you under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. Today's program, The First Ingredient, was written by Jesse Sandler and is dedicated to the United Jewish Appeal.
My name is Yonah Halpern. I'm a welfare worker from Malvern. In case you haven't heard, that's the organization that rehabilitates Israel's handicapped using funds raised in America by the nationwide United Jewish Appeal. We work with all kinds, the aged, the infirm, those still suffering from concentration camps. I had David Levitt for 2 weeks at a rehabilitation center. He was pushing his way around in a go-kart, a platform made of boards and a pair of roller skates. In the very first interview, I saw what we were up against.
You sent for me, Mr. Halpern?
Yes, David, I've been reading your records. I'm very impressed. So I wanted to discuss a comprehensive program with you.
Program?
What you wanted to do now that you're in Israel. Is there anything special you hope for?
A sunny corner.
What?
Get me a sunny corner where I can sell shoelaces or maybe peddle papers.
Is that what you want?
What else am I good for?
I'm surprised to hear you say that.
Why?
Because it says here you were a fighter. Let me read it. From the time he lost his family in Warsaw, David was a partisan.
Yes.
But you're only 26 now.
I was 12. All right, I've done my fighting. There's got to be an end to fighting. I've done my share. Get me a sunny corner. I'll enjoy watching the others build.
Well, suppose we can do more for you than that. Would you want it?
What?
Well, suppose we can help you get on your feet again.
Mine?
We have a hospital at Be'er Yaakov. The first bed that's available, we'll send you there. They'll fit you with a pair of artificial legs.
I can't.
But David...
I've been examined before. In my case, it's impossible. Save the bed for someone who can do some good.
David, listen.
No, you listen. It's taken me a long time to learn an important lesson. That each of us must take himself as he is. Each of us must see the world from his own particular throne. Mine isn't so bad.
David. Before I could stop him, he'd wheeled out, and the interview was over. I sat staring down at his records, and the words burned into me. From the time he was 12, he'd been a partisan. How had that fighter of a boy turned into this? And how was I to get through to him and turn him into a fighter again? David, I've been looking for you everywhere.
And what's the matter?
The hospital called. There's a bed ready.
I told you I wouldn't go.
But David...
How many times must I tell you? I've been examined. It's hopeless.
Doctors don't always agree. Now, perhaps at Be'er Yaakov they'll find differently. If we're willing to send you, what have you got to lose?
Do you think those examinations are fun? I don't want to talk about it. Leave me alone.
Mind if I sit down?
The recreation hall is free to everybody.
How about a game of checkers?
I'd only beat you.
Well, pretty good.
I'd beat you. I've been the champion at every camp I've ever been at. I've had plenty of time to practice.
How about a little wager?
Money? I don't have any.
The trip to Be'er Yaakov.
What?
If you win, I won't mention it again. If I win, you go.
You're crazy. It's a crazy bet.
Afraid?
No, I haven't lost in 7 years. All right, it's about time I taught you a good lesson and shut you up once and for all. Your move, Mr. Halpin.
Yeah.
Stuck?
No. No, there's still this.
That gives me 1, 2, and another king. Resign?
I guess that does it.
I warned you, but you wouldn't listen. Yonah Halpin, big brain, big college man.
Does it give you so much pleasure to win?
Sure. You thought you were so smart. Such a big, wise guy.
And now you've chopped me down to your size. Is that it?
No.
I think it is. You told me there had to be an end to fighting. I don't think you've stopped. I think there's so much fight in you, it's boiling, and you're afraid of it. But now you'll only fight on a checkerboard where you're a champion and you don't really risk anything. All right, but don't ever again say you're satisfied with what you are.
Get away from me.
I'm sorry, David. I thought I had to provoke you to stir you up. It was foolish and clumsy of me, and I apologize.
Get away.
I'm sincerely sorry, David.
Yonah. It's true what you said.
David.
You can call the hospital. I'll try it.
Thank you, David.
Going to Be'er Yaakov?
Yes?
So am I. The name's Moshe. Moshe Safir.
David Levitt.
Oh, I hear it's a wonderful hospital. The doctors are just wizards. They can rebuild anything. Say, did you hear the job they did on that tractor driver from Beersheba?
No.
Well, the tractor exploded and practically blew him to bits. They took him to the doctor, and the doctor fixes him up. He asked the doctor if he'll be able to play the piano when his hands get better. Doctor says, of course, and the patient says, that's funny. I couldn't play before.
Is that supposed to be funny?
Well, maybe not, but I thought I'd give it a try. I've been watching you ever since you got on the bus. Don't you ever smile?
What for?
Look, we've all got troubles. But you'll go to the hospital. They'll fit you with new legs. Don't you at least feel hope?
I can't do it. I've been examined. There's not enough of me to work with.
Oh?
Where can a man go without legs? What good is he in a country like this? Can he call himself a man? Can he ask a woman to share his life?
When you're David Levitt, 26 years old, without legs and without hope, what is there to laugh about? Still, he was wrong about one thing. There was enough reason for the doctors to go ahead. It took 4 long, painful operations, but finally the wizards of Be'er Yaakov managed to fit him with legs. And even then, he couldn't believe he would ever learn to use them. He lay in his hospital bed and looked down at these queer, mechanical marvels. All he could feel was that they had separated him from his one true and faithful friend, the little wooden platform that had carried him so far and so long. He was holding it and twirling one of the skate wheels when Shulamit walked in.
Hello, I'm Shulamit.
Yes?
I'm your therapist, and I'm going to help you learn to walk.
Oh.
You won't be needing this platform anymore. What do you want me to do with it? Shall I have the janitor throw it away?
No. I mean, it's carried me thousands of miles. It's still good.
You're right. All it needs is a few new ball bearings and a little oil, and it's good for a trip around the world. But do you really prefer to travel this way?
It gets you there.
Well, tell me why you can't let go of it. Don't you believe you'll walk?
No.
Why not?
Because I've tried, that's why not. Because I've been lying here trying to move my crazy new inventions.
And you can't?
Not even enough to lift the covers.
Well, you don't learn to walk right off, and you don't learn in bed. Now, first we must teach you to stand. Here, let me put your platform here against the wall so that you can have it if you want it. But let me show you a better machine I brought.
What is that?
Just what you see. An iron cage on wheels. Now, you stand in it, and it supports you. You don't have to be afraid of falling. At first, you just pull yourself along by the arms, and before you know it, your legs will be going, too. Now, come on, out of bed and try it.
No.
Oh, but...
Take it away.
Why?
Because it hurts like fire when I try to stand. I told those confounded doctors it was no use. They kept operating and operating. I can't stand. I can't even sit on my platform. Look, you want to do something for me, call the nurse. She took that thing away. Tell her if she doesn't bring it back, there's going to be a terrible accident. Don't just stand there, run.
She isn't there.
Oh, no.
I don't know where they keep things. If only I had a wheelchair, I could push you, but I haven't. I know, the cage. Stand in it and I can push you. You can push yourself.
Okay, anything. Anything.
To the washroom and back. Well, heaven can't always be our destination. Whatever the destination, it was a start. And after that, every day at 10, Shulamit came to give him a lesson. He began to like the cage. It gave him a feeling of security. Years and years of pushing himself on the platform had given him tremendous shoulder muscles, so this part went easy.
That's good. Very good. Why'd you stop?
Your eyes.
My eyes?
I can look straight into them. I mean, on my platform, I could only look into the eyes of children.
Oh.
Your eyes are a lot like that. Only different. Well, what's the matter with this cage? It moves so slowly. Somebody ought to be able to invent a better machine than this.
It's all right, David. That's enough for today. Good morning, David.
You're late.
Oh, I'm sorry. Something came up.
A 10 o'clock lesson means 10 o'clock, not a quarter past.
Well, we'll make up for it. We'll stay half hour overtime.
It isn't right that the next man should be penalized. I'll take the hour I'm entitled to and no more. Well, why should I worry about him when nobody ever thinks about me?
David.
I'm sorry if I don't please you. If I'm slow and don't make enough progress.
You're my best pupil.
Really? You're not just saying that?
Honest.
Well, I try. I do. I apply myself, not just in the practice hall, but back here in the room. I think about the principles involved in motion. I think about you. I mean, what you told me. Well, what are you waiting for? Bring in the cage. The hour's almost up. Am I learning to walk or to talk?
All right, David. Now we're going to try something new. You stand here.
Well, what are you doing? Why are you taking away the cage?
Because you can walk by yourself now.
No, I can't. Bring it back.
Don't be a baby. You can. You've been doing it for days without realizing.
I've been fooling you, pulling by my arms and pretending it was my legs.
Now, which of us is the teacher? I know better. You'll see.
Shalana, bring it back.
Well, just a few steps for my sake. Look, I'm right here, waiting for you. That's good, David. Now the other leg. The other leg. And that's all there is to it. One foot in front of the other. One step at a time.
Shalana, don't move. Stay where you were.
It's all right. It's all right.
Shalana!
David! It's all right, David. You're all right.
Take me back to my room.
But one little fall doesn't mean anything. Everybody falls.
Take me back.
But you're walking 5 full steps.
Take me back, do you hear? Take me back.
10 o'clock, David.
So what?
Time for your lesson.
I don't want any.
But look, I brought the cage. We won't try the other for a while. Today, just exercise.
Until you trick me again?
I didn't.
Did it give you pleasure? Do you get a thrill out of someone lying helpless at your feet? It's easy for you to look down. It's easy for you to talk. Come on, David. Get up, David. It's easy, David. What do you know about it?
Everything. Look.
Shalana.
I have one leg like yours.
Well, why didn't you tell me?
The girl likes to think her legs are as pretty as anyone else's. It's flattering to think she can walk so well that no one can tell the difference. And after a while, you yourself forget about it.
How did it happen?
I'm a Sabra. I was born here. In the fighting in our village, the girls stood guard as well as the men. The sniper's bullets.
How old were you?
16. And you?
15. It was a landmine. I should have been more careful. I knew a lot about them. I'd been a soldier for 3 years by that time.
You were a man.
Not exactly. The day I was 13, the day I should have been bar mitzvah, we were hiding out in the forest, starving. One of the men shot a boar. They roasted it. It smelled delicious. But when you stop to think about it, what is a boar but a wild pig? And this was a sacred day. It was a terrible decision. So I said, today I'll be a man. I won't promise for tomorrow, but today at least. So I went hungry.
That's like you.
You know, I've never told that story to anyone. Yonah, back at the rehabilitation center, he always wanted me to talk things out. He said my problems weren't just my legs. He's got a shrewd head, that Yonah. He kept asking me about girls, too. Girls? What was there to talk about? I never had a girl.
Oh?
Maybe I shouldn't be telling you this, but I've thought a lot about you. At the same time, I thought I shouldn't. I had no right. But I wanted to please you so, to be your best pupil, to walk straight off, like an archduke.
I know.
Then, when I fell, it was like a punishment, because I'd hoped too much. But now... Shalom, someday will you go out with me to a movie, maybe?
I'd like to.
Thanks. Oh, how will we go? With me walking in a cage? Shalom, take it away.
It's hard to stop a man when he really wants something. David Levitt walked from one end of the room to the other, and before Shulamit could even cheer, he turned and walked all the way back again just to prove it was no accident. He was so giddy with his success that it was almost a week before he realized that all he'd accomplished was to step into a new set of problems.
What's the matter, David? Didn't you enjoy the movie?
Well, I like the part where Victor Mature strangled the lions.
Why are you so glum?
I was just thinking of the tax on the tickets.
David.
Well, when you go to a movie, there's a tax. Make a salary, they have deductions. Get married, there's a marriage tax.
The same all over.
I know. So my problem is, how do I get to pay taxes?
Oh.
I was only 13 when I became a soldier. I never learned a trade. But now, tell me, where do I go to learn to strangle lions?
Oh, haven't you heard? They're sending you to Nev Shema.
Where?
Nev Shema, the training center. There's nothing I can do for you anymore. There you'll be taught shop work or anything else you think you're suited for.
Oh, well, that's fine. It's fine, but Nev Shemar. Is that far?
A short ride on the bus.
Well, the tickets are expensive. I can walk.
You've heard of Tinker to Evers to Chance? Well, for David, the Malbin program went from the rehabilitation center to the hospital at Ber Yaakov to the training center at Nev Shemar. And so, finally, David, with his friend Moshe, was able to become a working citizen of the Free State of Israel, with all the privileges inscribed thereto, including the right to complain.
Some lunch. I put a whole week's meat ration into the sandwich, and now the whole darn thing is stuck in my back cavity.
Huh?
Oh, never mind. You wouldn't appreciate it anyhow.
Oh, I'm sorry, Moshe. I wasn't even listening. I was thinking of our boss, Mr. Chaney. Business hasn't been too good. In the old country, they used to say Chaney made such gloves people forgot to take them off when they bathed. Here, the trouble is the factory's too small. He doesn't have enough machines, and he hasn't got the capital to really expand.
Well, how does that concern us? I don't see what we can do about it.
Listen, Moshe, suppose we went to him and made him a proposition. Mr. Chaney, Moshe and I are here as a committee of two.
A delegation. No, this sounds familiar. Listen, fellas, if it's about a raise, I'm paying all I can afford.
Keep the wages. Just pay me the deductions. I'll be better off.
Please, Moshe, this is serious. Mr. Chaney, how many people work here?
About 2/3.
Oh, very good, Chaney. I must remember that. How many people work here? About 2/3.
If it was any funnier, I'd be bankrupt.
Well, suppose you could employ 40 people. You could make twice as much.
And if I'd 100, I'd make 5 times. But if they were all turning out sewing machines, then this would be a business.
Suppose we could get you the machines.
How?
We talked it over with the people at Malbin. You can get a loan from them. Enough for 20 more machines. But,
oh, what a lovely world this would be if it weren't for that one little word. Well, what's the catch?
For every machine, you agree to hire a handicapped worker.
Look, fellas, I don't want to sound tough. But you have to understand, I am not a benevolent society.
Listen, Mr. Chaney, these people may be handicapped, but they're handicapped in your favor. A man with one arm, if he's with you, can cut more than a man with two.
And an operator without legs doesn't run to the water fountains all day.
Well, it might not hurt to have a little talk with your people.
The loan has been paid back 3 times, so there aren't 40 machines, there are over 100. And it was on one of his visits in connection with this transaction that David had a sudden, unexpected encounter.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You big idiot. Why don't you big guys watch where you're going?
Yona.
What, do I know you? The voice sounds familiar, but you knocked off my glasses.
Yeah, here they are.
Better. Oh, much better. Well, thank goodness they're not cracked or anything.
Now, do you know me?
David? That can't be. David Levitt?
Have I changed that much? I know I'm taller.
Yes, I've heard about your legs. No, it isn't that. It's everything about you. And tell me, what have you been doing? Why are you here?
I came about the Chaney Glove Factory.
Oh, yes. I'd heard they'd taken a batch of handicapped people. If it's a job you want, maybe I can help you. We've given them several loans, you know.
I know. I arranged them.
You?
I'm the manager.
That big plant?
It's a good job. Pays well. Even with the deductions, I can afford a wife.
Oh, you're considering, huh?
Considered. We're expecting.
Working, a fine job, a family, all in 2 years. Doesn't seem possible. You remember the first time you came to my office?
Yes.
I asked you what you hoped for, and you said that all you wanted was a sunny corner.
I couldn't have said such a sick thing.
You're right. You didn't say it. It was altogether another David.
You know, I often wanted to go back and thank you for what you did for me.
But too busy, huh?
No, I just didn't know where to begin. I mean, so many people have helped me. You, all the doctors at Ber Yaakov, Shilamit taught me to walk, the men at Nev Shemar who taught me a trade, all the people who contribute to Malbin, that I've never met and never could meet. How do you thank an army? So the only way I can do it is by passing it along.
It was a strong, tall David now, too big for bitterness, who with his wife climbed a hill in Haifa overlooking the harbor one Sunday.
Just a little bit higher, Mrs. Levitt. Now we can see the whole harbor.
Oh, please, David. How can I climb in my condition?
Oh, yes, Shalana. You all right?
Yes.
Well, you look white. The baby's all right?
The baby's fine. I should be as good.
It'll be a boy, I know it. And we'll call him Solomon.
Why?
Because it says in the Bible, the son of David is Solomon. And he was the wisest man that ever lived. Do you know why?
Why?
Because he knew that the most important thing in the world was for people to stop being bitter and to love one another. He wrote a poem about it, the Song of Songs. I'll read it to you when we get home. Or maybe I'll write you one. A man should write his own poem.
What's gotten into you? It must be the altitude.
I just feel good. Look, down below. They're unloading that ship.
New batch. Look at them coming off. People look so tired, discouraged.
They'll change. There's something in the air of Israel that makes you change. Oh, it's good to be alive here. To stand on your own 2 feet. Shalom, I made a joke.
David!
Just wait till I tell Moshe.
If you would like a copy of today's script, please send your name and address with 10 cents to cover the cost of postage to the Jewish Theological Seminary of America, 3080 Broadway, New York 27, New York. And now we take great pleasure in presenting Mr. William Rosenwald, General Chairman of the United Jewish Appeal. Mr. Rosenwald.
The program you've just heard dramatizes the solving of a great human problem, the care and the rehabilitation of handicapped immigrants to Israel. But that problem is only one of a great many human needs which are met by the United Jewish Appeal. In many European countries, in half a dozen Muslim lands, here in our own country, and in Israel, UJA assistance spells the difference between despair and hope, between life and death, for nearly 500,000 persons every day. This democratic, voluntary, humanitarian cause was founded at the height of the Hitler tyranny. In 17 years, it has aided or rescued 2.25 million persons, victims of every kind of totalitarian oppression. More than 800,000 refugees have been helped to take up new lives in Israel alone. Hundreds of thousands of others have been enabled to find new hope and new faith in other democratic lands. But today, a wave of tension grips still another segment of Jewry overseas. Tens of thousands in Morocco and Tunisia cry out for speedy sanctuary in Israel. This cry comes at a time when the men, women, and children of Israel are faced with a grave emergency of their own. Israel's people are determined to keep their gates of freedom wide open to all those who want to enter, but they cannot give the help they once gave. Because of this, freedom-loving people everywhere, acting through the United Jewish Appeal, will want to do everything possible to facilitate the prompt migration of those who must leave North Africa. Americans of all faiths and creeds, all who are concerned with advancing freedom and furthering democracy, are united in their humanitarian aim to aid these men, women, and children to reach Israel in 1956. There, as in America, they can walk in dignity as free men.
Thank you, Mr. Rosenwald. Our Eternal Light drama today, The First Ingredient, was written by Jesse Sandler. The music was composed by Morris Mamorsky and conducted by Roy Shield. Cantor David Putterman sang the liturgical introduction. Featured in the cast were John Sylvester, Lola Pisa, Raymond Edward Johnson, Leon Janney, and Alexander Scorpy. This is Mel Brandt. This has been an NBC Radio Network production, directed by Daniel Sutter. This weekly program is presented under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. This is the NBC Radio Network.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel that they bring unto thee pure oil olive, beaten for the light, to cause the lamps to burn continually in the tabernacle of the congregation. And it shall be a statute forever in your generations.
The Eternal Light. The National Broadcasting Company and its affiliated independent stations present The Eternal Light, a program which comes to you under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. Today's program, The Most Precious Gift, was written by Peter Barry.
Outside, a storm was building. A night of wind and darkness seemed to press against the lighted windows of the synagogue as if resolved to force its way inside in a black, unreasoning rush of chaos.
Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord. So speaks the voice of Leviticus, yielding us the text of tonight's sermon.
Never had I come to services with a greater inner need. But the words of the rabbi as he developed his theme filled me with more uneasiness than comfort. Somehow I heard them as if they were meant for me alone.
But are we to feel that the Scripture requires that our neighbor's wrongdoing go unrebuked and be tolerated by us with indiscriminate sentimentality? No. It was the great Rabbi Maimonides himself who assured us that we are not required to seek in vain for some unnatural means of loving evil simply because it is our neighbor's. Mercy on sinners, he has said, is cruelty to all other creatures. And the loss sustained is as much ours as it is the sinner's. For the love of one's neighbor is fruitful with many blessings, and the capacity for loving him is the most precious gift this life on earth affords.
I felt the palms of my hands turn hot and moist. The most precious gift. Was I losing it? Was it slipping away from me with a kind of nightmarish relentlessness? The rabbi's voice came dimly through my thoughts as I sat remembering. It seemed I'd always had the gift, always as a natural and unquestioned part of me. Until that day. Until 4 o'clock, I recalled, it had been perfectly commonplace, uneventful, empty, and in no wise different from the general run of the days of my life. Then just as the clock struck 4, Dr. Michaels emerged from Van Elsa's room and announced that her condition was improving. I was already holding the front door open for him when midway on the stairs he halted. He looked down at me and then suddenly said it.
You know, don't you, that I'm in love with you?
What did you say?
I said, I'm in love with you.
With me?
Does it really come as such a surprise?
Dr. Michael.
Won't you say David?
David?
Haven't you anything else to say?
What else could I say?
You could say you're very happy. On the other hand, you could say you're very sorry. And then again, you might even kiss me, Sonia.
Sonia! Is that Elsa?
Sonia!
I'm coming.
Please.
She doesn't like to be kept waiting.
I don't think anybody really enjoys it.
I don't like to keep her waiting.
I'm sorry.
It's quite all right.
Sonia!
Let me pass, please.
What about tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night?
The theater.
Theater? How can I leave Aunt Elsa alone?
Why can't you?
She's ill. You know better than anyone how ill she is.
And I know better than anyone that there couldn't be any danger in her spending the evening reading a good book. I'll say it's a date.
I wish you wouldn't urge me.
Say it.
No.
I'm sorry. I've made a nuisance of myself, I'm afraid.
Please, it isn't that.
I've obviously presumed too
No,
far.
it isn't that at all. I just can't make a date without talking it over with Aunt Elsa.
Okay, talk it over then. I'll call back later.
If you like.
Say around 9.
Around 9, David. Oh, David. Before he'd closed the door, I knew it. And I knew that I'd known it all along. Beneath the level of my grief and my tedium, I was hopelessly in love with him. And I had an impulse to fling the door open and tell him that I'd go with him tomorrow night or any night to the theater or the ends of the earth. I'd taken a step forward, my hand was on the knob, and then Aunt Elsa's voice brought me sharply back to reality.
Sonia!
When I entered her room, she was lying propped up on her elbows, and the strained look in her anxious, weary eyes wrenched at my heart. It made matters worse that she apologized for calling me, and as I poured her medicine, I blushed with shame for myself and my selfishness.
I heard the doctor's car drive off only a moment ago.
Yes, I know.
You had a talk?
Yes.
What about?
Time for your medicine now.
Oh, Sonia.
Open wide. Here we are.
I don't know which is worse, the sickness or the cure.
Whichever, you're getting much better. Really, he said you were.
I'm glad he thinks so.
Well, what do you mean?
Nothing.
Don't you think you are?
Does it matter what I think?
Aunt Elsa.
I don't want you to worry about me, child. I don't want anybody ever to worry about me.
But I do worry about you, and so does David.
David?
Dr. Michaels.
Oh. Sonia.
Yes?
How long has it been, David, between you and him?
10 minutes or so.
I see.
He's asked me to go to the theater tomorrow night.
How nice of him. He realizes, of course, how hard it is for a young girl to spend half her life teaching children and the other half tied to a bedridden old woman.
Aunt Elsa, that's not true.
Of course it is. You needn't try to spare my feelings.
I'm not sparing your feelings. He asked me because he's in love with me.
He is?
Yes.
He said so? Naturally, you told him you'd go.
I told him I'd ask you first.
Well, you don't suppose I'd let you miss a chance like this? When do you have to give your answer?
He's calling back at 9.
Well, then you tell him I insist you go.
Oh, Aunt Elsa.
You do want to go, don't you?
Oh, yes.
Your heart's quite set on it, isn't it?
But I wouldn't desert you if you needed me.
Oh, you're not to consider me. You're not to give me a thought.
Oh, you're sweet. You're very sweet.
I'm a realist, I hope. I face facts.
I'll be back soon.
Well, where are you going?
Make your dinner.
Sonia?
Yes?
Before you go, I think you'd better face a few facts.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, this situation obviously must end.
What situation?
My being here on your hands. Can't go on any longer, dear.
But I wanted to go on.
Well, then I don't. It's begun. A man has entered your life. You'll be seeing more and more of him. And I'll be lying here alone, helpless and old, listening to the clock tick. That's not for me, my dear.
Aunt Elsa,
I'm leaving.
You can't. There's no place for you to go.
Oh, there are hospitals. There are hospitals, Sonia. And I'm not entirely without money.
But I couldn't stand that. I couldn't stand that. I couldn't leave you all alone in a hospital.
Why not?
You know why not.
You left your father all alone in one?
Aunt Elsa.
You left him there to die.
Aunt Elsa.
I say you left him there to die.
Hello?
Sonia?
Yes?
What's the matter?
Nothing, David.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Well, what about tomorrow night?
David, I can't go.
I see.
And I have to hang up now.
Just a second.
Please let me.
And Elsa wants no competition.
I just can't go into it right now.
Maybe you don't want to see me.
No, I do. You can't know how much.
Then isn't that the most important consideration?
No.
No.
I have a more important consideration, David.
What?
Aunt Elsa's comfort and happiness.
Sonia, don't you deserve a little something for yourself?
No.
Why not?
Because
Yes.
Because I don't deserve to live. He rang back again and again. And again I managed not to answer. I deserved what I was feeling, I told myself, the ache and the emptiness. My life was dedicated to others, to Aunt Elsa, to the school, and I must never again permit myself to dream of such things as David and happiness. Fiercely, I flung myself into my work. Here were my neighbor's children. My responsibilities to shape and form for the great world of tomorrow. Surely in my love for them, I thought I can lose my selfish sorrows. But somehow...
I would have known the lesson if it hadn't been for the picnic, Miss Sonia.
The picnic?
Yes'm. My mom said to tell you Pop got off at noon yesterday. And she thought, for one day, the fresh air was better for me.
She told you to tell me that?
Yes.
Then you tell her that when I make an assignment, the best thing for you is to do it. Do you understand me?
Yes.
And you can also tell her that I kept you after school to make sure you got around to your studies. That will do. The next person to laugh will be sent to the principal's office. Is that perfectly clear? Now then, we'll get on with it. There was an impatience in me such as I'd never known before. A kind of erratic anger that grew despite my efforts to control it. And poor Aunt Elsa, fretful and restless after the lonely days, did little to help matters.
Where have you been?
The children get more difficult every day. I was so worried about being late to give you your medicine.
The children? Imagine anyone trumping up a story to delude a helpless old woman like me.
To delude you? What do you mean?
I mean, you've been seeing Dr. Michaels.
Aunt Elsa.
Oh, nothing reprehensible, of course. Just romantic little meetings on the outside to talk and hold hands.
That's not true.
Why? Why isn't it true, Sonia?
Because there's you to take care of. And he'd demand more time than I've got to spare.
Is that really the reason?
Yes.
You're really so sweet to me, dear. If you'd been half so sweet to your father, we might still have him with us, mightn't we?
I shudder yet to remember that sudden seizure of rage, like a geyser surging up from some loathsome secret inner well of hatred. That night I lay in bed, stiff and stunned with guilt, thunderstruck that I could have felt such an emotion toward poor, sweet, childlike Aunt Elsa. I slept badly that night and night after night thereafter. But with the morning, my irritation would return, and I'd drag myself to school heavy with a sense of failure and burdened with an exhausting anger that I could neither name or dispel. Then one Friday afternoon, the principal asked to see me in her office.
I'm sorry to say this, Sonia, but a mother who visited your class recently came to me with a very disturbing observation.
Observation?
She said that you were obviously a capable teacher, but she felt that possibly you were losing your capacity for loving the children.
I tried to smile as if I were amused at the absurdity of the notion, but I wasn't. And a foreboding chill followed me from the room. And so I sat in synagogue with the threatening night outside, lost in my own thoughts. When the congregation got to its feet, I looked up with surprise, realizing services were over. Unsteadily, I rose and walked out into the darkness. I remember walking slowly through the windy night, hearing nothing, seeing nothing, until...
Sonia!
Oh, David.
Can we go somewhere and talk?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't think it's good for either one of us.
What?
To start thinking of each other again.
Sonia, look at me.
Please, I'd rather not.
Sonia.
Please.
The last time I talked to you, you told me that you didn't deserve to live. What did you mean by that?
I have to be getting home.
What did you mean?
David, it's a long story.
And an important one. Tell me.
It's about my father.
What about him?
He wanted me to stay home and study for my teacher's degree here in town.
Yes.
David, I don't like to remember.
I don't think you ever forget.
I refused him. I told him I wouldn't do it. And I went away.
So? So what?
He took sick, that's what. He pined away for me, Aunt Elsa says.
Does she now?
Anyway, I got a telegram that he was critically ill in the hospital, and before I could get back, he died. He died alone there, calling my name.
And that's why you don't deserve to live.
I've wished myself dead 1,000 times.
Where was your Aunt Elsa then?
She was very sick, too. She couldn't go to him.
But she managed to know that he died calling your name.
The nurses told her.
And she's made the very utmost of it.
Utmost? What do you mean?
Forget it. I want to ask you a question, Sonia.
About my father?
About you.
Well?
Will you marry me? Will you, Sonia?
How can I say yes or no?
Would you like to be my wife?
I think so. I know I would.
So then?
I can't do a thing just because I'd like to.
Why not, dear? Aren't you a person?
I have another person to consider.
Sonia.
There's Aunt Elsa, David. She must always come first.
Why must she?
Because she's old and she's sick.
She's not so old and she's not sick at all anymore. That's an official
She
statement.
needs a home.
She'll have a home with us.
Please, David, if she said yes, then I would.
And otherwise?
David, you must understand. My life is hers. She's the only way I have of making amends.
Amends?
For what I did to my father. I stood for a moment looking into his eyes for understanding. And then I tore myself from his gaze and hurried away. The storm was very near now, and the whole night was tense with expectancy. And I was like the night, breathless with an inward brewing turmoil, anguished, confused, but knowing that David's proposal was a new and sustaining reef under every fear and doubt and misgiving. As I opened the front door, an unreasonable hope bloomed inside of me. Perhaps somehow all would go well. Perhaps Aunt Elsa would be glad for me and smile and wish me luck. Never had my heart pounded higher than as I ran up the stairs to her room. She sat propped in bed as I announced the news, and her voice when she spoke was somewhere between a rasp and a whimper.
He proposed to you?
Yes.
Did he then? did he?
Oh, Aunt Elsa, you're going to live with us. You'll have your own room, your own bath, and be part of our lives.
I see. Thank you for your kindness, my dear. But I'm part of a life already. I'm part of my own life. And if it killed me, I'd never be part of anyone else's.
Please, I only meant that you
I
were...
know what you mean. You meant to let me down easy. I haven't died soon enough to suit your plans. And I'm sorry.
Where are you going?
To make a reservation for
Reservation?
at the hospital.
No, you mustn't, Aunt Elsa. Please, listen to me, please.
I've heard enough.
Aunt Elsa, I won't marry him. I won't.
No? No? Is that a promise, Sonia? I said, is that a promise? Answer me.
But I couldn't answer her. The seizure of rage that I felt before had suddenly risen up again out of the depths of my being. I stood gaping and dumbstruck. I clutched the door to keep from reeling, and through the roaring turmoil, her voice came thin and distant.
Sonia! What's the matter with you? Sonia!
With a suffocating pang of terror, I had turned and fled from the house, desperate to escape what I felt inside of me. Running without direction, I tore through the streets, hearing the thunder that broke above me like a sound in a dream. And then as the rain came in a drenching downpour, I halted. Someone had spoken my name out of the darkness.
Sonia!
Dazed, I looked around me. I was in front of the synagogue. And in the dim rays of the streetlight, I saw the rabbi standing in the doorway, hat in hand, smiling at me, quizzically.
Come inside, Sonia.
No.
Come inside.
He led me into his study and sat across the desk from me, waiting for me to speak. Then...
What is it, my dear?
I've just had the most terrible experience of my life.
Yes?
There was a quarrel with Aunt Elsa.
Are you so distressed because you had a quarrel with your aunt?
No, I'm distressed because I wish she were dead.
Oh.
She asked me to promise not to marry Dr. Michael. She was going to leave if I didn't, and suddenly I found myself wishing she were dead at my feet. How could I have done it? How could I have felt such a thing about a living person?
Sonia, you've been feeling such a thing about another living person for a long while now.
Another person? Who?
Yourself. You can't very well deny it. You told Dr. Michaels as much tonight. I've wished myself dead 1,000 times, you said.
David was here?
Mm-hmm. He left just a moment ago.
He told you about me?
Everything. Out of his love of you, he told me. Sonia, sit down and let me try to help him.
Nothing can help me. Don't you realize what this means?
What does it mean?
It means that I've lost the last shred of my capacity to love. I've lost what you yourself tonight called the most precious gift.
I doubt that, my dear.
But
I think we might say instead that you've been careless with your capacity for love.
Careless?
My poor child. Since we're commanded to love our neighbor as ourselves, we must take care to love ourselves sufficiently, or else we must fall short in obeying the commandment. Pity the neighbor who is loved as little as Sonia has loved Sonia.
Can I love myself?
Oh, yes. Yes, you can, Sonia, and you must. In the Talmud it is written that there first arose within God's mind the plan of creating the world with the attribute of justice alone. And then he saw that thus the world could not endure, and he added mercy. If the world cannot endure without it, my daughter, how can you?
Mercy. It's been a long time since there's been room in me for such a thing.
Because you were filled with self-hate. And that hate welled up tonight, and the inevitable happened.
The inevitable?
You hated your neighbor as you hate yourself. Love yourself wisely, Sonia, and you will stoop to no evil, great or small, out of solicitude for your own self-respect and peace of mind. Love thrives on love, and it shall no more breed from hate than life shall breed from death. Understand it, Sonia, for your sake and David's. Love yourself a little, and a miracle will happen. The most precious gift will be yours again, and you will love God to the full, along with all the other creatures of this loving world of his.
If you would like a copy of today's script, please send your name and address with 10 cents to cover the cost of postage to the Jewish Theological Seminary of America, 3080 Broadway, New York 27, New York. And now we take great pleasure in presenting Mr. Louis J. Glickman of New York, a member of the World Brotherhood Committee of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. Mr. Glickman.
How frequently, in the course of living, we take the familiar things for granted. Very often, the meanings of ideas or phrases become so familiar to us that we miss their real depth. Take, for example, the words, "Love thy neighbor as thyself." From the book of Leviticus, let us note the use of the words, "as thyself." The great practical wisdom, which is the real depth of these words. We are not asked to love our neighbor more than ourselves, for in so doing we would only find ourselves hating rather than loving. If we know the best in ourselves and respect that best, a great step forward is taken in loving our fellow man. Self-respect must precede respect for others. If it does not, we would soon find ourselves in somewhat the same position as did the young lady in our program today. We can be truest to others by being true to ourselves first. This concept can be of value to us as individuals, as members of families and groups. It can also be applied in a broader sense to our nation as a whole. America, if true to itself, can thus be the best teacher to neighboring nations. All of us believe heartily in the basic concepts of our democracy, those of freedom, justice, and equality for all. We wish to share them with other nations. However, it is quite clear that we must practice these principles each day before we can develop self-respect as a nation and devotion to those ideals so that we can pass them on to others. How do we do this? Having integrity and self-understanding as a nation. We can even love those who have not yet achieved the ideals of democracy. Through this love and devotion to our fellow man throughout the world, we can bring them to the point of realizing the goals of human freedom and dignity on every corner of the earth.
Thank you, Mr. Glickman. Our Eternal Light drama today was written by Peter Berry. David Putterman sang the liturgical introduction. The music was composed by Morris Pomorsky and conducted by Roy Shield. Featured in the cast were Terry Keane, Bert Cowlin, Beatrice Pons, Ann Seymour, Kerry Joles, and Norman Rose. This is Mel Brandt. This has been an NBC Radio Network production, directed by Daniel Sutter. This weekly program is presented under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. This is the NBC Radio Network.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel that they bring unto thee pure oil olive beaten for the light, to cause the lamps to burn continually in the tabernacle of the congregation. And it shall be a statute forever in your generations.
Amen.
the eternal light. The National Broadcasting Company and its affiliated independent stations present The Eternal Light, a program which comes to you under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. Today we present Journey to Canaan by Joseph Mindell.
Three days' march from Sinai, they came to a place where a few trees cast a pale shadow on the barren waste. Shading his eyes against the sun, Moses looked back at those who followed him. A multitude scattered in disorderly ranks, a people wandering in the wilderness. Joshua, who was called his minister, Joshua stood beside him. Then he spoke.
The people are tired, Moses.
Before the journey is over, they will be even more tired.
Let us stop and make camp now.
Later.
They need rest.
There will be a time to rest.
They are not like you.
What do you mean, Joshua?
Who is like you, Moses?
I will not have you say such things.
I meant no disrespect.
I know what you meant.
Only they need rest, though you do not, because you know where we are going.
Don't you know?
I do not ask.
You have been told. All those thousands have been told, as I was told. Therefore, you also know. Joshua, you know all there is to be known. You do not believe me.
When I went with you to Mount Sinai, I waited below, but you climbed to the very top.
You think there is a secret that I have not revealed.
I do not ask, Moses.
If that is what you think, then ask. We will camp here, Joshua.
I'm glad. I'll send messengers to give the order.
Joshua, I'll tell you something. I am also tired.
While the people built huts out of twigs and leaves and prepared to cook the evening meal, Moses raised the tent over the Ark of the Covenant. And then, by the twinkling light of the fires, he walked among the people and listened to their words.
Lamb, young spring lamb. You remember?
Cooked with savory herbs. I remember.
And the fish we used to catch in the river.
Wrapped in leaves, baked in a fire. It's enough, don't remind me.
But my favorite dish was meat, roasted on a spit, the juices dripping.
The meal is ready, Gadiel.
A meal, she calls it. The same thing, day after day.
Bring me something else, I will cook it.
I'm tired of it, I won't eat it.
Then go hungry.
Is it for this that we left Egypt, to wander in the wilderness and eat this manna mixed with water?
Not so loud, Gadiel.
In Egypt, we ate fish and meat, cucumbers, melons, and leeks. He persuaded us to go with him, and now what do we have?
Taste it, Gadiel. Today I baked it.
Baked, broiled, or roasted, it's still manna. Always the same. I'm tired of it, I tell you.
Shh. There's someone there.
Who is it? What do you want? He's going away.
Look, Gadiel. It's Moses. He heard you. He heard what you said.
What if he did? It's no secret. He heard what everybody is saying.
Why have you dealt ill with your servant, O Lord? Why have I not found favor in your sight that you lay the burden of all these people upon me? Have I conceived this people? Have I brought them forth? That you should say to me, carry them in your bosom to the land which you promised to their fathers? Where shall I find meat in the wilderness? What shall I say to them? Gershom, I want you to... Where is Gershom?
I'll find him, Moses.
He should be here with you. Gershom!
I'm coming.
Joshua called the elders of the tribes to come here to the tent of meeting.
Well, I'll go with Joshua.
Where have you been, Gershom?
There, at the fire.
Your place is here, outside the tent.
It was cold.
It's cold for everyone. Joshua remains here.
Joshua's your minister.
You are my son, Gershom.
I'm sorry that my father is disappointed.
I spoke too harshly, my son.
No. Perhaps you have reason to be disappointed. I heard the people talking around the fires. They are saying...
I know what the people say.
You are also disappointed in them.
Go, both of you. Call the elders.
No, let me speak, Father. They have been in the wilderness for so long that they're tired and hungry and afraid. We are not like you, Father.
What did you say, Gershom?
I said that we are not...
Joshua's words, only he said they are not like you. Strange.
Father, what will you say to the people?
Don't you know, Gershom? I will say what I have said before and what they already know.
You will prophesy.
If to speak God's words is to prophesy, yes, I will prophesy. I will remind them why they left Egypt, and that the meat they ate at Pharaoh's will was not as sweet as the manna sent from heaven.
The elders of the tribes met together in the tent of meeting, and Moses spoke to them as he had spoken before, and they listened to words they had need to hear again. For a time, fears receded and weariness grew less, and the children of Israel marched again through the endless wilderness, until they came to a place before high mountains, and Moses gave orders to make camp.
Why are we stopping here, Moses? Beyond the mountain, Gadiel, is the land of Canaan. Is that where we're going? That is where we are going. Then why do we stop? We could cross the mountain before dark.
Watch your tongue, Gadiel. Who are you to question?
Don't be so ready to defend me, Joshua. Gadiel, we don't know what kind of land it is, or what kind of people live in it. Before all the people go over into Canaan, shouldn't we send someone first? To scout the land and its people? Will you go, Gadiel? I'll go, Moses. Who knows? Maybe I'll find meat. And you, Caleb? Will you go with him?
If you say so, Moses.
Also Shammua and Igal and Palti.
Moses, let me go too.
You, Joshua? No. I want you here with me.
But I'm young and strong, and my eyes are sharp.
I said no.
And I have a head for making plans. You've said it yourself. Besides...
You're very insistent.
Besides, I want very much to see Canaan.
All right, Joshua. You may go with them.
Thank you, Moses. Thank you.
You were about to speak, Gershom?
I? No, Father.
Perhaps you were about to ask if you could also go with the scouting party.
You mustn't let him go, Moses.
No, Gadiel.
If something should happen to you, that is, Gershom must remain here because...
You mean that nobody lives forever, and Gershom is my son. There are other ways of saying it, but that is what I mean.
He's right, Moses.
Do you also think he is right, Gershom?
I'm not sure.
But you do not insist on going? No. You do not insist.
They're back, Father.
All of them, Gershom? Have they all returned?
Yes, all of them.
God be praised.
Moses, we've seen Canaan. From the mountains down to the river Jordan, as far as the sea.
Tell us, Caleb, what Canaan is.
It flows with milk and honey. Look, we have brought back the fruit of the land. Grapes, pomegranates, and figs. It's a land of green fields and streams of water and pastures thick with cattle. It's true, ask Joshua.
We saw it with our own eyes. The wheat grows tall as a man, and the fig trees are bent with the weight of their fruit. Moses, it's a good land.
You haven't told everything, Joshua.
What do you mean, Gadiel?
Why don't you tell about the people we saw with our own eyes?
In due time.
Tell them now, Joshua. Tell Moses. Tell everybody. About the Amorites who live in the mountains, about the Hittites and the Jebusites.
What's wrong with you, Gadiel?
Why don't you tell about the armies we saw?
You know what I think, Joshua?
About the soldiers, every one a giant in metal armor.
I think Gadiel was frightened.
Yes, I was afraid. So are we all afraid, all of us.
Don't speak for Caleb or for me.
There is reason to be frightened.
If the Lord is with us, we have nothing to fear when we go into Canaan.
You say it wrong, Joshua. If we do not go into Canaan,
Then we have nothing to fear.
Listen to me. We left Egypt, and we journeyed through the wilderness. And Gadiel, we will cross over the mountains into Canaan.
Don't give us commands.
I'm not the one who commands us to go.
No, you speak for Moses. We've listened to him for a long time.
You don't understand. My lips say the word.
Then we'll close your lips.
Look out, Joshua! There's a stone in your hand, Gadiel. Why don't you throw it?
At whom are you angry, Gadiel? Why are you all afraid? You didn't see their armies, Moses. The Lord took us out of Egypt with a strong hand and an outstretched arm. He led us through the wilderness and nourished us with manna, and still you have so little faith. Oh, my brothers, the Lord is a God of loving kindness and forbearance. Let us hope that he will forgive.
The people stood silent in the midst of their fear and anger. And Joshua stood before them alone and unafraid, and it seemed to Moses that Joshua was surrounded by the glory of the Lord. Then Moses did a strange thing. He turned to his son who was beside him and held him close with an arm across his shoulder and said,
Do not be afraid, Gershom.
To those who have been slaves, fear is a constant companion. To those who are not yet free, the faith and confidence of freedom do not come easily. Moses turned the people from the mountains, for they were not yet ready to enter the land that had been promised to their fathers long ago. They returned to the wilderness to wander again. For how many years, whether 1 or 40, they could not know. And as they journeyed once more, even in their fear, they grumbled.
Our children are crying, Moses.
I hear them, Gadiel. Even when they sleep, I hear them.
Their lips are dry and cracked.
We'll come to water soon.
Where? The wilderness has become a desert.
We'll pass through the desert and find water.
You have words for every occasion, Moses.
You must believe it, Gadiel.
We've had enough words. We need water.
How shall I get it for you? What do you want me to do?
How should we know? You made us leave Egypt and brought us here to the desert to die.
We were slaves in Egypt. Have you forgotten?
I only remember that there we were able to live.
No! You were afraid to live, and now you're afraid of dying. There is nothing in you but fear.
Moses, we don't want to die. Help us.
I'm a man like you, Gadiel. I'm also thirsty, and I don't want to die. What do you expect of me?
Save us, Moses.
Shall I lift my arms and make the rain to fall in the desert?
If you don't help us, who will?
Shall I take my staff and strike this rock and bring forth?
Drink, Moses. There is water enough now. Moses.
I'm not thirsty.
Only a little to wet your lips.
No, Zipporah. I'm sorry.
You've been sitting here in the tent for hours without talking.
Zipporah.
No, listen to me, Moses. When you came to ask for me long ago in Midian, my father's house, I was afraid.
Was I so frightened?
Because you were a stranger from a strange land. But my father said he is a good man, Zipporah. And so I was your wife. And we lived in Midian, where our son was born. And then in Egypt. And together we left Egypt for the wilderness. How many years has it been, Moses? Yet sometimes, even now, I feel that you are still a stranger.
Then I have failed you too, Zipporah.
You too, he says. How few words you need to say 2 things that I don't understand and that aren't true besides. Am I complaining, Moses?
You have never complained, Zipporah, in all the years.
And the people, do they have reason to complain? They were dying of thirst and you gave them water.
It was not I.
You know what I mean. Yet here you are, sorrowing, while they dance around the fires and talk of going back and crossing over into Canaan.
They will not go into Canaan.
I've heard them. They talk as if they're ready to start tomorrow.
But they're not ready. They're so afraid. They have so little faith. Gadiel and the men of his generation will never see Canaan. Never, Zipporah.
You mustn't say that. You can't be sure.
I am sure.
How can you bear to know it, Moses? It was wasted. The struggle with Pharaoh, the suffering in the wilderness, all wasted.
No. The children will enter the land that the fathers were promised. The children, not the fathers.
What will they do, the poor people? How will they live?
They will live, and I will also live.
What do you mean, Moses?
Neither will I enter the promised land, Zipporah.
I don't know what you are saying.
They came to me crying for water, and I was angry. For how could there be water in the desert? Zipporah, did I have more faith than they? Gershom, go out and call Joshua.
Yes, Father.
Wait, Gershom. Moses, I know what's in your mind.
Do you, Zipporah? I was thinking of what Gadiel said.
I don't care what Gadiel said.
You remember? Nobody lives forever. Those were his words.
This is not the time to talk of such things.
When is a good time? Gershom, call Joshua.
Not yet, Gershom. At least, Moses, let us talk first, without Joshua.
Zipporah, I have thought about it for a long time.
No longer than I.
Then tell me who will lead the people into the promised land.
The eldest son inherits from the father. You know as well as I.
Is it so? Isaac was younger than Ishmael, yet he received the blessing from Abraham. And Jacob received it over Esau. And what if there is no son? Or if the son is not suited to the inheritance?
Excuse me, I'll go outside.
It will be better if you stay and listen. When you were born in Midian, I named you Gershom, for I was a stranger in a strange land. Later, I was a stranger in the land of Pharaoh. And sometimes I think even among my own people.
How can you talk like this, Moses?
What am I saying to you, Gershom? That you are my son, whom I love, but that you cannot take up the task that I will be unable to finish.
I'm sorry, Father. I think that all my life I've been sorry.
Why should you be sorry? It is not your duty to be what I might like you to be. I should have said this long ago, shouldn't I, Gershom?
Maybe I should have learned it myself long ago. Well, you will want to talk to Joshua. I'll call him.
No, we'll go out into the desert and we'll talk, Joshua and I. The mountains look so far away.
Only 3 days' march, Moses.
And on the other side, when the time comes, you will lead the people over into Canaan. You hear, Joshua?
Who am I that I should be chosen?
In my time, I also asked, who am I?
I'm not fit for the task.
Joshua, it is not a dispute that you can win. Who is I to stand before Pharaoh?
You? You are Moses.
Moses of the stammering tongue, meekest among all men.
Yet the whole world knows what you did.
What did I do, Joshua? Did I part the Red Sea? Did I send manna from heaven or strike water from a desert rock? But
I am Joshua, not Moses.
You will not be alone, as I was not alone.
That is why I am afraid.
Why?
That if God should speak to me, I will not understand.
Listen to me, Joshua. It may be that God speaks only once, and his words must be remembered forever. Therefore, I have written down the words in a book of the law, in the Torah. Now listen carefully, Joshua. Remember what I say.
I will remember, Moses.
There may come a day when a man shall rise and say, follow me, for the Lord has said thus and so, and another man may rise and contradict him.
Then how shall we know?
The words of the Lord are in the Torah, and by the Torah you will know. For he has said, see, I have set before thee this day life and good, and death and evil. Therefore choose life, that thou mayest live.
For 40 years the children of Israel lived in the wilderness, and Moses lived and was an old man. But his eye was not dim and his strength not less on the day when he went with Joshua alone from the plains of Moab to Mount Nebo. Joshua waited below while Moses climbed to the top of Pisgah, and then he came down again.
Do you weep for me?
Is this the day, Moses?
No tears, Joshua. I have seen the promised land. Now, stand beside me and look out toward Moab. You see the valley there?
I see.
I will be buried there.
The place will be remembered forever.
No, Joshua. The spot must not be marked. No one must know where it is.
It will be a sacred place, Moses.
Only the things of the Lord are sacred. I fought against idols of many kinds while I lived. I will not be made an idol when I am no longer alive. You must promise, Joshua.
It will be as you say.
Good. It is almost time.
Not yet, Moses.
One more thing I must tell you. The people will suffer hardship, and they will complain and blame you. It is a heavy burden, Joshua.
It was no lighter for you.
They're a stiff-necked people, Joshua. They will sin and do evil, and God will be angry with them. Then you must plead for them.
Tell me how, Moses.
I will teach you the song that I was told to write down. You will sing it with the people, and it will be a reminder of who they are and where they come from and what they must be. Listen, Joshua. Give ear, ye heavens, and I will speak, and let the earth hear the words of my mouth. My doctrine shall drop as the rain, my speech shall distill as the dew, as the small rain upon the tender grass, as the showers upon the herb. Joshua, do not be afraid.
They left Moses in a valley in the land of Moab, in a place that no one knew. Turning from the desert, they journeyed to the promised land. And Gershom, the son of Moses, was not the first at the head, nor Joshua, who was full of the spirit of wisdom, for Moses had laid his hands upon him. Joshua was not the first. The multitude covered the desert from Moab toward the hills of Canaan. And at the head of the people was the Ark of the Covenant. First was the Torah.
If you would like a copy of today's script, please send your name and address with 10 cents to cover the cost of postage to the Jewish Theological Seminary of America, 3080 Broadway, New York 27, New York. And now we take great pleasure in presenting Mr. A.W. Sheffers, co-chairman of the National Brotherhood Dinner. Mr. Sheffers.
First was the Torah, first then and first now, first in the hearts of the children of Israel, and first in our hearts, the basis, the fundamental core of our being, the Word of God. It was the quality of ideas rather than a person which led the children of Israel into the land of Canaan. It is the quality of ideas today which leads a nation and a people. Moses actually faced a crisis in his life. It was, and still is, sometimes believed that a son alone should carry on the work of his father. Yet Moses did not feel that it was the duty of his son to be what Moses might have liked him to be. There are profound implications in the decision of Moses. implications which affect us as a free people today. God created a world in which the equality of all people is fundamental. Gershom was not chosen to lead the children of Israel, even though he was the son of Moses. Rather, Joshua was selected because he best suited the task through his qualifications, determined primarily by his devotion and his ideals. Is this not a basic concept of our democracy today? Our Constitution grants us that all men are created equal. No one person inherits the right to leadership, nor is he compelled to complete any task of his ancestors. We are free to choose our own way. Our qualifications are dictated by our devotion to the ideals that we as individuals select as right. We can then all be qualified to lead, providing we select the right ideals. There is a saying that ideals are like stars. We may never hold them in our hands, but like the seafaring man upon the desert of waters, we choose them as our guides, and in following them, reach our destiny. Where may we look to find the right ideals? The Talmud says, "Search the Bible again and again, for you shall find everything in it." Just as the Bible was first in leading the children of Israel out of the wilderness into the land of Canaan, and has led generations since from darkness to freedom, so can it lead us all today towards making a better world for our children and ourselves.
Thank you, Mr. Sheffers. Our Eternal Light drama today, Journey to Canaan, was written by Joseph Mindell. Cantor David Putterman sang the liturgical introduction. Featured in the cast were Roger de Koven, Carl Weber, Guy Sorrell, Alan Bergman, Edward Asner, Ann Petoniak, and Virginia Payne. Your narrator was Alexander Scorby. This is Mel Brandt. The music was written by Morris Momorsky and conducted by Roy Shield. This has been an NBC Radio Network production, directed by Daniel Sutter. This weekly program is presented under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. This is the NBC Radio Network.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel that they bring unto thee pure oil olive, beaten for the light, to cause the lamps to burn continually in the tabernacle of the congregation. And it shall be a statute forever in your generations.
The Eternal Light. The National Broadcasting Company and its affiliated independent stations presents The Eternal Light, a program which comes to you under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. Today's program, Instant of Creation, was written by Joseph Mindell and comes to you from Chicago, Illinois.
Every day the world dies a little, and every day it is brought again into existence. So it is that every instant is an act of creation. This is a story of the dark years of our time, when the world seemed close to destruction. But even the dismal corners are filled with a golden light. For even in the years given over to the destroyer, there are hidden the instants of creation. The story begins in Poland in January of the year 1941.
This is where he got through the fence. Sergeant!
Jawohl, Herr Leutnant.
Release the dogs. He won't get far, not in Poland in the winter.
No, Herr Leutnant, but,
What, Sergeant?
speak up. He doesn't have to get far. Only as far as the Russian half of Poland.
Stop, I say. Corporal, fire a shot over his head. Put your hands up high. Higher. Now, approach slowly.
Comrades, I'm so happy to see you.
See if he's armed, Corporal. Stand still, don't try to run away.
Run away? I was looking for you. As soon as I saw your uniform...
What are you doing here in the forest? Why were you hiding?
I wasn't hiding. That is, I was in a camp, a German camp.
You escaped from a German concentration camp?
You don't believe me? Look, just look at this.
Keep your hands up.
I only wanted to show you the number on my arm.
Nobody escapes from a German camp unless they want him to escape.
But I'm telling you the truth, comrade. Why should I lie to you?
Corporal, take 2 men and bring him to headquarters. Hold him for questioning.
Oh, I'll be glad to answer questions. There are many things I can tell you about the Germans.
Without a doubt.
Excuse me, comrade. I was in a German camp for more than a year.
That's what you said before.
What I mean is, after the questioning, then what?
Corporal, take him away.
His name was Prozinka. He was 20 years old and he was alive. Those are the significant facts. Once he had a family and lived at a certain number on a certain street in some Polish city. But now, in the time and the place in which he and his world existed, there was no importance in history and little meaning in the past. He escaped from the Germans and was caught by the Russians. They almost shot him, as so many were shot. But they didn't. They put him on a train with hundreds of others, collected in a variety of ways, and sent him across the length of Russia, through endless miles of snow that blinded the eyes, through cold that buried itself deep in the bones. They brought Prozinka to a place where barracks and huts were sprinkled in the snow at the edge of a forest, a concentration camp in Siberia. They brought him to his destination and filed him away.
Don't stand there. Get inside. Get in, I said. Maybe this will teach you to move when you're told. Boom! Here's another one for you. Prozinka, he's called.
Here, Prozinka. You can have this space against the wall. What are you looking at? Maybe you'd like better accommodations?
Leave him alone, Bloom. It takes a little time.
Am I doing something to him, Zilberman? I'm trying to help him. Prozinka, did they give you a blanket? Yes. Put it down here. Don't you hear me? Maybe he's deaf.
No, he's not deaf. Give me your things, Prozinka. I'll help you. Tell me, Prozinka, what are you accused of?
They say I'm a spy.
Ah, yes. Espionage. We have quite a few in that category.
Me too. Right here. It's not true. Look!
The number on my arm.
Of course it's not true.
You're not the only one, Pozinka.
Let him talk, Bloom.
What the Germans did to my people. To me. How could I be a spy for them? How could I?
You don't have to convince us.
What he means is that we know. Take me, for example. Am I Nathan Zilberman? I'm a teacher of Torah? No. I'm Nathan Zilberman, saboteur. And that Meyer Bloom, enemy of the state. And Zacharias over there.
Don't include me in your low political crowd, Zilberman. I'm a common thief.
What's the matter, Pozinka?
You joke about it as if it wasn't happening to you.
You'll get used to it, Pozinka.
No, I won't.
Silverman is right. It's better if you can laugh about it sometimes.
I won't stay here. They can't keep me here.
No?
The German camp had barbed wire and watchtowers and dogs. This one doesn't even have a fence.
Take a look out of the window, Pozinka.
I got away from the Germans. I'll get away from the Russians, too.
Listen, it's 20 miles to the railroad tracks. There's one train a week, and the nearest city is 500 miles. Look out there, Pozinka. The snow is higher than any fence, and the cold bites deeper than any dog. You still think you'll escape?
Bloom, was it necessary to be so exact?
In this place, Silverman, a person can't live on dreams.
If I were Pozinka, I might say, do you call that living? You better get some rest, Pozinka. Tomorrow they'll put you to work with us in the forest.
Stop for a minute, Bloom.
Keep working.
I can't.
This is a two-man saw, Pozinka. If you stop, I have to stop.
Only for a minute. The guard can't see us.
The devil take the guard. We don't work on his account.
What? What did you say?
We have a quota, you fool. So many trees to trim, so many logs to cut.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Never mind. Get back to work.
In the German camp, there were guards with whips. I was afraid of them. I have to rest, Bloom. I'm not afraid of quotas.
Pozinka, they count the logs when they're loaded on the trucks. If we don't fill our quota, we don't eat. You understand? Pozinka, do you understand?
It's a new invention, isn't it? A concentration camp without fences and without whips. Just snow and cold and hunger.
How do you feel, Pozinka? Oh, don't tell me. I know. You don't feel like talking, huh?
No.
Then you listen. Pozinka, the way I've been talking to you, maybe it was a little rough.
It's all right, Bloom.
But believe me, it's for your own good.
Sure.
In this place, there isn't much choice, either yes or no. Either you learn how to live, or you don't live. Do you know what I'm saying, Pozinka?
Bloom, to take guns and whips and make a man a slave, that's a terrible thing.
I know what you're going to say.
But to make a man want to slave, to make him drive himself for a watery soup with half a potato, how can you find words for such a thing?
Don't look for words. These are the conditions of life, yes or no. When you're young, you think there's always something else. Pozinka, here, there's nothing, just yes or no.
When I was 11, my father took me one day. We lived in the city. He took me to a flour mill in a little village.
You weren't even listening to me.
I was listening, Bloom. I was. There was a donkey walking around and around, turning the millstone.
All right, so I'm a donkey.
No, that's not what I was saying.
All the same, it's better. How is it written? It's better to be a live dog than a dead lion.
I remember how every so often the miller would take a whip and hit the donkey. Not hard, just a tap.
Gentle soul.
Just hard enough, he said, to remind the donkey that it had no choice, that it went around and around on account of the whip. Because he said, even a donkey is entitled to self-respect.
Why do you tell me such stories? What do you expect me to do?
I don't know, Bloom. I don't know.
Why don't you tell Zilberman? Zilberman and his congregation.
Why, they're praying.
It's Friday night. Zilberman is welcoming the Sabbath. Don't you hear? Oh, sing unto the Lord a new song.
Oh, sing unto the Lord a new song. Sing unto the Lord all the earth. Sing unto the Lord and bless his name. You are not in the congregation, Bloom?
Me? You've told me, haven't you? I can only go around and around and around. Why don't you join them, Pazinka? Why don't you thank the Lord for making you a man?
I've been wondering a whole week, Bloom. Who loads the trucks that take the lumber to the train?
I'm glad to hear you ask that, Pazinka.
You are?
It's a good question. A healthy question. Isn't it, Silverman?
What's so healthy about it?
You don't see. He's waking up to reality.
Ah, reality.
Of course. Our friend Pazinka realizes that there are hard jobs like sawing wood, and there are not so hard jobs, eh, Pazinka?
Well, as a matter of fact...
I'll tell you how it is, Pazinka. It's not impossible. With a few bribes and a good deal of patience, you might be assigned to loading. But it's not easy to manage.
I was thinking maybe it's possible to load the wood with a hollow space in the middle. Big enough for a...
You still have that crazy idea in your head.
Once you get to the railroad tracks...
That's enough! I don't want to hear any more!
All right, Bloom. I won't bother you anymore.
You're not the first one to think of these things. More clever men than you have made plans to escape.
Calm down, Bloom. Let him make his plans. They have nothing to do with you.
Stay out of this, Silverman. You think I didn't go through it at the beginning? Lying awake, scheming, planning? It can't be done. I've learned, Pazinka, it can't be done. That's all. Finished. It's settled.
Yes, I see.
You don't see, Silverman. You don't know anything about it.
It's a question of reality, isn't it? But who?
The important thing is to stay alive. In this place you can't live if you keep fooling yourself.
That's Pazinka's problem, it seems to me. Unless, Bloom, what's finished, settled for you, can become unsettled.
You're a fine pair, you and Pazinka, with your dreams. Dreams of escape and dreams of God. It's Friday night again, Silverman. Go and welcome the Sabbath.
Yes, it's time.
Go on. Sing and pretend that you're not in a prison camp. Pretend that you're free.
Pazinka, will you join us in the prayers?
Why not, Pazinka? Join the congregation.
When I still lived at home, I didn't go to synagogue very often.
It doesn't matter. Silverman won't mind.
No, we won't mind, Pazinka.
On Friday night, my mother would light the candles and say the blessings. And later we would all sing Shalom Aleichem.
We will sing Shalom Aleichem. Very softly, but we'll sing it.
My father worked hard. We weren't poor, you know, but we had to work hard. Except on the Sabbath. Because on that day, he said, a man could be free.
Come, Pazinka. We're ready to begin the services.
And tomorrow? What about tomorrow?
This is tonight. And tonight we'll recite the prayers and sing the blessings.
No, Zilberman.
Come. It will do you good.
Tomorrow, on the Sabbath, you'll go to the forest and work.
There's nothing else we can do, Pazinka.
Then the prayers and the blessings are the only words?
In heaven's name, what do you expect of human beings?
Now who needs calming down, Silverman?
The Talmud itself says that the preservation of life takes precedence even over the sanctity of the Sabbath. Pazinka, what do you want?
I don't know, Zilberman. All my life I've been afraid. I was afraid of the Polish gangs that used to invade the Jewish streets, of Hitler and the guards with whips, and now of quotas. Everything I ever did, I was forced to do by fear.
Zilberman!
Do you know what I mean, Zilberman?
Zilberman, it's time to begin.
They're calling you.
I hear them. Let them begin without me.
But the Sabbath services.
Pazinka, you're very young, and you're not especially clever. Bloom was right. Puzinka, when things are finished, settled, why can't you leave them alone? Why do you have to unsettle them?
It's getting light. Time to get up. Wake up, Puzinka.
I'm awake, Bloom.
Oh, so I see. Did you sleep at all last night? You'll learn, Puzinka. Get up. Huh? Time for work. Oh, work. You, Silverman.
I am also awake, Bloom.
You are? What have you been planning? Oh, I don't want to know. No, Silverman. Don't turn around on the other side. A whole forest of trees is waiting for you.
Not today. Today is the Sabbath.
You're out of your mind.
We've talked it over, and we've decided.
We? You and your congregation?
We decided.
You can't refuse to work.
That's what I thought, too, Bloom. But you see, we have refused, haven't we?
They'll beat you. They'll... Well, who knows what they'll do?
Bloom, even God, who never gets tired, rested on the seventh day. Should not we rest on the Sabbath from our weariness?
Don't give me any of your Talmudic reasoning. I'm talking about facts.
I don't mean only the weariness of work, of the forest. I mean the weariness of being afraid, of being prisoners. Bloom, here in the world of the concentration camp, we can't be free.
You're not facing the facts of this world. You're afraid. You're afraid to face reality.
The Sabbath is not only another day. It's another world. And on Sabbath, for a little while, we can feel free. Free of prison camps and guards and quotas. Bloom, is not this also reality?
Don't you understand, Silverman? You can't do this thing. You can't do it.
Bloom, tonight we welcome the Sabbath. You heard us. Tomorrow we will not work. No matter what they do to us, we will not work.
Throw them in. There they are. Your Sabbath celebrators. Take a lesson from them.
They're covered with blood. Don't stand there like donkeys. Zacharias, get some rags. Yes, rags. Bring the water. Don't try to get up, gentlemen.
No words of welcome, Bloom.
They certainly did a job on you.
Here's the water, Bloom.
Good, Puzinka.
Was it very bad, Silverman?
Don't ask foolish questions.
It was bad, Puzinka. You were right about your reality, eh, Bloom?
So I was right. You think it gives me pleasure to see you like this?
Aren't you going to ask about my reality?
Silverman, you talk too much. Get a good rest. Tomorrow you'll need your strength.
Don't worry about the quota.
Who's talking about the quota? Well, you and your congregation were celebrating the Sabbath with the camp director and his guards. The rest of us, we also had a little discussion.
You did? About what?
Listen, Silverman. Wasn't it Hillel who said, "Separate not thyself from the congregation"? Maybe we're not pious Jews like you, but we're not exactly ignorant.
Ignorant? Bloom, my friend, I would call you a learned man.
Get out and get to work.
No
work. Work! For the last time, get to work.
This is more than you can handle, Comrade Guard. You'd better...
That's for giving me instructions.
You'd better get the director of the camp.
Stop it! You all gone crazy? Or is this another Sabbath celebration?
You might call it a strike.
Strikes are forbidden in the Soviet Union.
Is that so? You see, it is a problem for the camp director.
This is sabotage.
If you will permit me to explain, Comrade Director.
I'll have you all shot. Every last one of you.
It's really a simple matter.
The barracks are surrounded. I'll give you 10 seconds.
Excuse me, Comrade Director. What's the harm in listening? You can always shoot us later.
There's nothing to talk about. All right, talk fast.
It would be better if we could speak more privately.
You make conditions, do you?
Oh, from your point of view, I mean.
Corporal, keep the machine gunners at ready. And watch out for tricks. Speak up now.
You know what we want? 1 day of rest a week.
I make the rules in this camp.
Rules can be changed.
That's all you have to say. Now listen to me. I give you 10 seconds. Then the machine guns open fire.
What kind of threat is that? We know what we are in your reckoning. We're pieces of living machinery, production units. So many trees, so many logs, so many feet of lumber. Cheap machines, given a minimum of maintenance and no repairs. When they wear out, let them lie where they fall. Yes. Well, you can shoot us.
Maybe you think I won't do it.
Maybe you won't have to. If I'm not mistaken, you also have a quota.
That's not your business.
They count your production in Moscow, don't they? If you shoot us, a whole barracks, what happens to your production? And what will they say in Moscow? You devil, I'd like to... Please don't, Comrade Director. Well, that's all, Comrade Director. The rest is up to you. After all, you make the rules in this camp.
I'll work you as you've never worked before. And remember this. There's to be only one Sabbath in a week.
Look at Pozinka. He's singing. You won't join us, Bloom? Me? I've already told you, Sir Vernon. I'm not a pious man. Have it your way. Only it seems to me that there may be different kinds of piety. Please, don't twist my words again. I was not thinking of your words. Do you remember, Bloom? Hillel also said, in a place where there are no men, strive to be a man. Shalom Aleichem, Silverman. Peace be with you. And with you, peace.
On a Sabbath in a dark corner of our time, Pozinka sang. It was a small thing, and we must not make too much of it. Yet it was a spark that for an instant lit the darkness, and thus it was, after all, important. For every day the world dies a little, and every day it is brought again into existence, and every instant is an act of creation.
If you would like a copy of today's script, please send your name and address with 10 cents to cover the cost of postage to the Jewish Theological Seminary of America, 3080 Broadway, New York 27, New York. And now we take great pleasure in presenting Mr. Arthur Lansky, member of the National Rama Commission and a member of the Board of Directors of Rodfade Tzedek Synagogue, Chicago. Mr. Lansky.
The victory of a small group of men may seem small and remote when compared with the vast Holocaust and catastrophe of the Second World War. Pozinka, Blum, Zilberman, and the others there won one small victory. Yet, was it so small? They won a freedom. Freedom to keep the Sabbath holy, as written in Torah. Their accomplishment was a spark that for an instant lit the darkness, an act of creation. Yet, let us think about that victory. No instant of creation, no matter how small, should be considered insignificant. For are not all the great events in our world made up of these small sparks? Let us take 2 examples. A great poem may be written and later become a march of freedom. Or a man may do one small thing and find it grows into great importance. An instant may become a part of something later considered a great accomplishment. Our nation itself is a bonfire of freedom, created from many sparks. Individual groups of people who would not stand oppression banded together and formed our nation during many instants of creation. The Battle of Bunker Hill, the Declaration of Independence, and Washington's crossing the Delaware. All are single instants, but added together, those small sparks become something great. So each of us may look upon our own activities. Many of our tasks may seem small and insignificant, but if we hold to our beliefs of what is just and right, if our acts are always based on truth, then every act can be an instant creation. Every day the world dies a little, and every day it is brought again into existence, and every act is an instant of creation.
Thank you, Mr. Lansky. Our Eternal Light drama today, Instant of Creation, was written by Joseph Mendel and came to you from Chicago. The music was written by Morris Momorsky and conducted by Bernard Berquist. Cantor David Putterman sang the liturgical introduction. Featured in the cast were Philip Lord, Norman Gottschalk, Maurice Copeland, Bob Barron, Everett Clark, Paul Barnes, and Marshall Kent. This has been an NBC Radio Network production directed by Howard Keegan. This weekly program is presented under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. This is Monitor, the NBC Weekend Radio Service.